Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Well, we have to mute the stream. Okay, there we go.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Venus.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hey, Kara.
Hello, Venus.
Hey, Kara.
Oh,
You should get into the roll-20.
Yes.
Yes. Well, everyone, welcome. I remembered to change the stream title today.
I'm so fucking proud of you. This is the real evolution we've all been waiting for. It's you fucking getting your shit together and actually changing the stream
I did it last
title.
night. I did it last night because I knew I would forget this morning, so I did it last night.
It's actually incredible. Like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Model looks great. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 10 of the Spellbound Saga. Yay!
Yeah.
Hey.
Unfortunately, today we are missing our dear friend Company. They're a little bit sick today. She's a little bit sick today, everyone. Can I get
Give her a little head pat.
Can I get everyone in chat saying "Get well soon, Company"? Get well soon,
Get well soon, you little guy.
Well soon, Gorn.
Get well soon.
Love you.
Or else.
Get well soon, Company.
Conpuani.
You deserve a lot of head pats.
Yes,
Company.
thank you. So, yay! Spellbound!
Where are they bound to?
The spell!
No way.
Okay,
No way.
well,
No way.
where we left off, everyone, the party had met with Madeline, who is a kind of weird farmer who was an ex-adventurer, now retired at the Yosei Vineyard, who now gathers supplies for the nearby villages. The party is now heading to the small town of Fuyu, where the disease seems to have originated. The disease.
Is it the disease that Gorn has?
Maybe, I don't know.
I fucking hope not from the way you've described it.
Yeah. Yeah, the pale
Gorn is
death.
just really into role-playing.
Gorn is very in character right now.
Exactly.
Okay, so if anything is too loud or too quiet, let me know, you guys, and I'll change some stuff around. Anywho, so yeah, cheers. We're
I just
gonna.
realized that you're on a different map to us, so I can't disrupt stream. Damn it.
Hmm?
I was pinging on the map, but you've got like a different map open on your screen. So
Thank you for the hydrate,
so-
Carrot.
anyway, continue on.
Okay, we. Oh my god, I almost threw up.
Bless you.
Anyway. Oh yes, I'm going to. Cole and I also had a one-on-one session to fill in the gaps of where he was when the party was traveling through Ori. So,
Yeah.
the boom was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna pick up pretty much where we left off, and Haname is just laying down in the back. You know, we don't need to explain her absence. She's there, but like not there.
Yeah.
She's sick.
Yeah, she's sick. So
He's just quieter than usual.
yeah, quieter than usual. So Cole, it's not hard to find the party. It's really not. I mean, look at them.
Yeah.
You were dropped off in the Yosei Vineyard taking a shortcut off of the main road. Madeline then directed you toward where the party was headed, and before long you've caught up with them. Just on foot, but you're also quite fast because bunny. So you managed to catch up with them, and now the party has reassembled.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Chains nods.
Chains nods at this voice in his head saying that Cole is there.
Yeah, Cole is here.
Does Cole like sprint up to us?
That's up
or-
to Cole. Cole, how do you want to return to the party?
Okay. Where is the party? Like, are they on like a carriage or something right now?
Yeah, I believe you guys were traveling on carriage. Am I incorrect in that? Yeah, you guys were
I don't
traveling.
think we.
No,
Did we get a
We
carriage?
were on foot.
you were on
I think it was
foot.
on
No,
foot,
you were
yeah.
on foot.
We
Yeah,
helped
casually.
someone in a carriage.
Yeah, we were on foot,
Yeah,
so we were
yeah,
heading
yeah.
from Yosei towards Fuyu, so we're probably like somewhere like near Uzumaki.
Yeah, you're back near
Okay.
the capital, pretty much.
Sure. Okay, so as you guys are walking, you guys suddenly hear like a loud thud, 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 and
It's
it's
coming.
basically it's coming, and then all of a sudden you guys see like a little flash of red in front of your eyes, and then with another bounce, Cole just lands right in front of you guys, very dramatically as his cape is like
Billowing in the wind.
exactly, and so as his headband and everything. He composes himself, and he turns to the rest of the party.
Chain see this and continues walking, but maintains eye contact and nods.
Percy
Uh,
claps.
So
What's up, little
Cole,
firecracker?
so Cole usually, his appearance is pretty rugged. But still, he does carry himself with a sort of grace and elegance in a way with how his demeanor is. Right now, he is looking the most rough you've ever seen him. Like, if you notice his face, his one eye is like bloodshot. He's extremely tired. He is looks like he hasn't had any bit of sleep in the past few days? Question mark? And it just doesn't look good. Ahem.
Chain sustains his action. You guys go.
Percy's sort of like, "Oh, welcome back, Cole. Are you?" And like, as Cole gets closer, as he gets like closer to Cole and notices the bloodshot, like his excited tone goes from like, back to, "Are you okay? You look like you've had a rough last couple of days."
Uh, um, is she? Uh, did you see her?
Huh?
See,
Is there anybody following you?
That I
Percy
know
like
of?
Percy like looks around him. Can I do like can Percy just do like a perception check or something? I know it's probably not gonna amount to much, but he's just like looking around.
I mean, you're actively looking, so yeah, perception.
Okay.
Speaking of perception. No, you don't see anyone.
But yeah, Percy like looks around. He's like,
Where are my
no,
dice?
are we being tailed?
He wants to answer, but then he kind of suddenly like turns to Chains and kind of pulls like tugs on his clothes. You there was blood. What happened?
My cat. God. Sorry. Hold on.
Okay.
My
Yeah,
cat
okay.
is like getting in my lap. Okay, she's
Oh,
gone.
That's okay.
Okay. Sorry, I was
You're
like.
good.
Oh my god! Venus! Okay, get in character.
Sorry. I'm in it.
Okay,
I'm back.
Trains touches his scar and then looks at his hand and then looks back to Cole and then just shrugs and is like everything's fine, and he gives off a smile.
Thank you for the hydrate.
He doesn't quite remember what happened, but we managed to get him. Well, I don't know how he got better, but he was being possessed.
Sorry.
That's how he got better.
No, I don't.
He got better through vitamin gummy.
Yeah.
He's okay now.
That's kind of no.
Sorry that I got so
Yeah,
far
he
away
was-
that my cat wandered out of my room. Okay, now we're in it. We're in it. Serious.
Yeah. He was well, I guess possessed by two different spirits. They've settled down for now, but yeah.
So you don't know how he got better?
Well, not really. We were trying everything we could, and he seemed to just like recover. We still need to figure out more, but I've been advised we shouldn't try to interfere too much.
Cole studies chains and kind of once again questions him with like the most exhausted expression. So you don't know what's going on with you. There's nothing that you can tell us about what happened that night.
And then okay, so Chains looks towards the direction of where they're heading. I said that's why I'm heading back home to find out. And he grasps. How do I say that? Grasps onto his cloak, his green cloak.
Ah. And then Cole then looks at River, like suggesting he add something to this because he's still very confused.
River just lets out a nonchalant shrug. He looks just as confused as you are about the situation.
I tried to ask Auntie for more details, but there's only so much she's able to tell me.
Right.
But
I was told there was a plague situation that we had to take care of.
yeah, we just came back from talking to a lady named Madeline, and she's working on the cure, and we're trying to figure out the source of it at the moment. And we heard that it started from Fuyu.
Right. Of course. Let's carry on.
Do you have a
Chains.
gas mask?
Yes, Cole has one as well.
Oh,
So
bloody gas mask.
Chains interrupts and says, "So, could you describe the person you were talking about earlier?"
Cole kind of looks taken back. He's like, "Did Chains just there's something different about Chains." Since the last time he saw him, did Chains just initiate conversation? He's like,
He's been a little bit more talkative after everything that happened.
oh, maybe that bump in the head helped him.
Oh, trust me, I've been so shocked by him.
Oh,
Made me spit out my coffee twice.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Got poor Haname both times.
Oh, I see. Oh, a lot has happened.
First time was when I saw Chains smile. Second time was when Chains asked about what happened that night.
At this point, Chains is just stretching. He's getting bored.
For a second, you see a little bit of excitement in Cole's face. Like, Chain smiled? Oh, I mean, oh, okay. Finally, learning to be a proper person. Anyways, I never mind. I think I'm just imagining things. He has kind of withdrawn himself because it seems like he thinks he's gonna. It seems he thinks that you guys have a lot going on right now, so he doesn't want to burden with what he's going through right now. So
Chains shrugs and just starts walking off.
Classic Chains.
Classic Chains. Percy's gonna like look at Colm like, you were chasing after something. Did you? And you disappeared for days. Like, are you okay? Did you have to like, fight that thing, or like what happened? But she's like kind of like walking after Chains now, but like keeping in like lockstep with Cole as he walks.
Yeah, I guess it. Uh, I guess it. What I saw wasn't after chains. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. As he's talking, he kind of
Fucking
he's really
insight
tired.
Insight check.
He like his walk, you notice, is like he's staggering. Like this
Yeah.
isn't like a normal.
Yeah. Do I need to insight check this?
Yeah, Cole, roll deception, Percy, roll insight.
22.
You know, to see what Cole rolls on deception.
Deception.
Damn,
Whoa.
damn. Look, Percy, you know, he's not telling the whole truth. He's obviously leaving bits out. You can tell just on that insight roll that he doesn't want to burden the group with his own issues, considering you are on a mission at the moment. Not only that,
Yeah.
but dealing with chains, it's very, very stressful. You know, there's a lot on your plate already, and he doesn't want to add more to it.
Yeah.
Guys are gonna make me buy a shoe.
Percy's gonna put like a hand on Cole, like one, like both for reassurance and also like to stabilize him since he's looking kind of wonky. Like just like keep him up straight. He's gonna be like,
Cole's instinct, even though Percy's touch and intention was warm, he kind of got scared. He kind of got jumped when he felt a hand on him.
sorry, I'm just. Listen, Cole, I know that you're the newest to our little crew here, but we are a team after all, and teams need to look after each other and make sure that everything's going okay. I won't push if you don't want to talk, because that's not my place. But you don't have to feel the need to keep your burdens hidden. At the very least, you can talk to me if you want to. Okay? I'm happy to listen, and you won't be burdening me. I could take quite a bit, you know. He kind of grins and like he thumps his chest as like a bit of a overexerted sign of like strength.
River is just standing there watching this interaction, just sort of just like existing in the moment.
Poor River.
Cole just kind of gives a sad smile and goes, I'm thank you. I'm okay. And then he just proceeds walking.
Percy nods. He knows that it's probably not the best idea to push any further at this point.
Okay.
Well, that was something.
That was something.
River just continues onward.
Alright, so, you guys are making your way to Fuyu?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Huh?
Huh? Alrighty.
Mah.
Maha?
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 Masema da saba rapusa.
Masema sama mapusa mapusa.
Sama Pusa.
Okay. Ah, you opened up the wrong thing. Golly gosh. Okay.
Oh gosh, dang.
Oh gosh.
Golly gee.
Oh, but don't forget to change your name.
Da, 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 da. Sorry, I have to calculate things. Because I'm not smart and I don't know how to do this off the top of my head. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. We could vibe. We could chill.
What
we could
pace
enjoy
are you
life.
guys traveling at? Fast, slow, or normal?
Fast.
Normal.
Fast!
Fast.
Okay, that's 2 votes for fast.
I want normal.
I think we should go normal.
Well then,
Okay.
Flip a coin.
okay, fine.
I mean, you can make your arguments for why normal.
So if we go
'cause-
fast, we have disadvantage on perception.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so if
basically-
you, it's only passive perception, not active perception.
Actually, I'm thinking. Actually, I vote for fast.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think
uh,
at the
we
I
have an
think-
urgent quest.
Yeah, I think at the moment the urgency of the quest
There's
overrules any active risk we have in this area. Like no one's actively hunting for us here yet. So
Okay, so your
And-
travel time has been cut down from 5 days to 4 days. So you cut a whole day off of your travel.
Oof.
But the entire time you're traveling, you have a -5 to all your passive perception.
Great.
So my passive perception is 12.
mine's 9.
What's mine?
It's underneath your skills. You'll see a thing that says passive perception. Passive.
Let me
wisdom.
open up everyone's
Un-
sheet, because I'm the one
So-
who has to keep track of it, not you guys.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm just gonna go to the toilet real quick.
Okay, go piss girl.
Is
It's more of a
Since
Venoid thing.
Percy,
Get out of here, Kaida.
since Percy has a 9, that means Percy just isn't aware of anything.
Okay. So... wow. Damn, that -5 is not gonna help you guys at all. Okay. Fucking hell! Never mind, you're fine. You're fine.
What?
It doesn't even matter. You're fine. It does not matter. You guys can travel at a fast pace all the time because do you know what Chains' passive perception is now?
What?
23.
Holy Christ!
Whoa.
Whoa!
So that
we go
-5
fast.
is an 18. You'll be fucking fine.
Oh my
go
gosh, we should
fast.
just travel fast everywhere.
That because Chains, that is because of your observant
Vroom.
feat.
Oh my god.
So you have a +5 by just normal to your passive wisdom score. Your passive perception score has a +5 naturally. So without this feat, your passive perception would have been 18 anyway. So you're
Oh, I
fine.
see it.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Wow. That was what a fun journey that was. Jeez. Okay. Just a moment. Alrighty. Where are my dice? Okay. Percentile dice time, everyone. Get ready.
Oh god.
Yeah, I explode all of you. 100, all of you explode. No, I'm kidding.
Whoops.
Okay, that is a number.
A number.
Love those. Shut up.
Okay.
That's it. I explode you.
Oh, that's okay, that's an interesting... Okay. You guys, wander. And Ori is not just plains. There's a couple, like, trees scattered across, mostly birch. Every now and again, you see a tree with, like, you know, pink leaves, like cherry blossoms. Again, Ori is a gorgeous, country. It's very well known for its tourism. It has a lot of visitors and a lot of tourists, traveling it, which is why Ori and Marine by extension have such a variety when it comes to race. Because a lot of people who come here as a tourist end up staying just because of the beauty and the kindness of the people. And also the magic. So you guys wander around and it's a pretty boring day. It's, you know, it's not very interesting today. It's pretty much just a normal day. Nothing, you encounter nothing, you see nothing.
Comfy.
Just a comfy day. So that's day 1 of 4.
Okay.
Is anyone going to keep watch tonight?
Cole is, because he can't sleep.
Okay. But
Hang on,
Cole,
let me-
by nature of what you have gone through, I am going to give you a disadvantage on perception checks.
Okay. Fair.
And, Chains will also keep watch because
So Cole,
he doesn't care for sleep.
as a DM moment, like this is like Venus DM asking you, Boomba,
Mhm.
what is in character for your, you know, character. How long has it been since Cole has slept?
I think it has been about 3 to 4 days. He might have had.
my
He might have.
God.
He might have had an hour nap or something because of how exhausted he is. But then he would wake up immediately, just out of fear, out of.
Okay, I
Mhm.
am going to. Cole,
Ooh.
you are now given 1 level of exhaustion. Every ability check you make is at disadvantage.
I would like to do something as Percy
No,
here.
kidding.
Okay, so like Cole, Percy, and Chains have like volunteered for watch, yeah?
Yeah, River's fucking conked.
Yeah. Percy's gonna look towards Cole and just see how fucking bad he looks, and like, Cole, I think maybe you should call it a night here. Change and I will be able to take watch. You need the rest.
What are you talking about? I feel great. I feel. And then you can see he's like trying his best to like stay conscious.
Are you having trouble sleeping or?
His face kind of flushes.
Shane's eyes, his alchemy kit. As
Juice.
If you want, I can try something for you to try help you sleep. You look like you need it. And if you're having trouble getting to sleep yourself, I might be able to help you.
He looks at both Chains and Percy, trying to extend an olive branch to help him sleep. And to be honest, he has no time to be tsundere right now. He is tired, and he would like some sleep. So he goes, sure, hit me with whatever you both have.
Okay, Percy's going to, put down his, as he's on watch, he usually has his spear on his side just in case anything goes wrong. He puts it down for a moment, reaches behind his neck, and just unbuckles one of the necklaces that he holds. It's one that, the decorative piece on it is a piece of what looks like bone to you, like bone or horn, carved into the shape of a moon, fastened with a little silver piece of metal. He holds it out, and it begins to glow a little bit. He's like, "Alright, please have faith in me here." Cole, do you consent to to Percy casting a spell on you?
Yes?
Okay. I am going to cast command.
Okay.
And Percy's just gonna say, "Now rest."
And target must
but-
succeed on wisdom saving throw. Follow the command on its next turn. So, anguish. Sorry, I'm reading.
You're good.
Approach. There are only certain commands. So you can only say approach, drop.
Is it only?
Probably.
I
Yeah,
thought
if
those
you-
were just examples. Is it only certain commands?
Yeah. I believe that those.
I'll let you do. I'll let you do
You
it as how
might
you wish.
issue a command other than the one described here, but then I determine how the target behaves. And just based on
Yeah.
the nature of how Cole is, Cole, I want you to do a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay.
Thank you for the tier 1 Cyberman!
Oh,
7-month
God.
streak, let's go. Okay. And again, it's at disadvantage because,
Right.
exhaustion. What's
Right.
your spell save DC is 15, Percy. Cole, you rest.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Cole's nose is does a little, he sniffs a little bit, and then in a few moments he literally just slumps to the ground, and passes out
Conk.
and snores.
You go, Venus.
He's out like a light.
Awesome. Mercy's gonna smile a little bit. It's like, good. And he's gonna pick up Cole and place him into his knapsack or wherever it is, and tuck him in.
Roll.
Yeah, put him into. He's gonna curl Cole into his bedroll and just
Okay.
get some rest in. You need it, and he'll go back to being on watch.
Roll it. Nothing happens. Chains You in particular see nothing. That's how you know it's real. Okay, day 2. Cole, you're no longer exhausted because you've had rest.
Okay. Oof.
That was short-lived.
Yes.
Look at me with that. I was having a look if I had access to sleep. I was like, "Ooh, I could use command in this way. That's fun."
That's fun. That's quirky even. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Did you rest well, Cole?
Yeah, I did. Can I ask you for a favor?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, I'm happy to help you where I can.
I think I'm gonna need some of that for a few more nights, if that's okay.
Percy smiles. Like, of course, I'm happy to help you. Like I said, you can rely on us, okay? And he kind of like flexes.
Well, flexes
Hi.
back.
Yes, River?
Hi. Cole, what's up?
Huh?
What happened?
What do you mean?
Well, first, you're gone for a couple days. You come back to us dead tired, red, bloodshot eyes. And you're not gonna say anything about it?
It's... Listen, there's a lot happening. This can wait. Don't worry about it. I just want you all to be on guard. There's more danger out there than we initially thought. And then he remembers something. Oh, by the way, my friend on that subject, my friend Anders wrote to me. He's gonna Lieutenant Anders Nodis of the Marinese, am I pronouncing that right? Army. He's he wrote to me and he's gonna send us some guards for the fort just to keep everyone protected. You know, while we're
That's
gone.
great news. That's really great news. They could use all the defense we need. We can get.
Just be careful. And it feels like he wants to say more, but he feels like if he does, he's gonna derail them, and he's just very focused on the mission at the point right now.
Food. For breakfast.
A fucking turn.
You guys have
River.
rations.
But
So-
River's gonna cast
Oh,
Goodberry.
fuck you.
Take a sprig of mistletoe out of his throat,
Fuck you.
and
The worst spells.
10 berries appear in his hand.
God.
Anyone
Thank
want a berry?
Percy's eyes
Can you
widen.
even eat those, River? Are you allergic to fruit?
Yeah, I mean, are you allergic to fruit?
Hey,
That's a berry.
I can't eat it, but since these are magical berries, I can at least touch them.
Can you? It was
Yeah,
made of-
I'll allow it.
Either way, Chains
Hom, hom.
grabs a berry, throws an air to catch it in his mouth.
Okay, roll dexterity. No, I'm kidding.
You restore 1 hit point.
Cole sees this, and his kind of competitive nature comes out, and he also tries the same.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm not gonna make you roll for it because I feel like that's a bit silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you catch it
Percy
in your mouth.
Percy eats the berry like a normal person would.
There are
Okay.
still 7 more berries.
Put it in your pouch and pack it up, River. Get out of here.
Like, as Percy takes a berry, he's gonna try take another one. He wants more berries.
Are you gonna sleight of hand it, or are you just openly taking it?
Percy's not very stealthy. He's just gonna try take a second berry.
River's just gonna let it happen.
Mhm.
Percy grins as he eats these berries.
So, that one berry provides enough nourishment to sustain you guys for the whole day.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Good berry, the
Yeah.
classic spell.
That ruined survival
It's a
campaigns.
spell that doesn't
The spell.
make any use besides this.
The spell that ruins survival campaigns, like like fucking Rime of the Frost Maiden. Yay!
Oh, trust me, I'm not gonna use this all the time. I mean,
Also,
so
Hot little note for you, Kara. They do restore 1 hit point, so you know if you have them around for combat, you essentially have 10 uses of getting people back up from unconsciousness.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
True.
Put it in their mouth and make them chew?
yes.
Yeah, you can.
You like
Shove a
grab their
berry
jaw and
into
up and
their
down.
mouth.
Anywho.
Listen,
Yes.
if you can force feed people potions, I feel like you could force feed someone a good berry.
You just shove it down their gullet. They have to chew if it's a good berry.
Yeah.
They're gonna choke. And then they're
No,
gonna
just
actually die.
grab their jaw and chew.
But then how are you gonna make them... Whatever. I'm not
Percy
in
eats
it.
berries no matter what state he's in. Even as a corpse, he still eats berries.
I don't want to
Gross.
talk about this anymore. Anyway, nothing happens today. Today is a normal day.
River just throws the berries on the ground.
Mm. Okay, who's taking watch tonight?
River
Uh,
shall.
I can, since he's rested.
Ribber and Goal. Okay. Clacking of dice. Nothing happens again! You guys see nothing. Damn.
Okay.
And uneventful travel. Alrighty. Next day! Roll. I rolled the exact same number, so nothing happens, I guess.
My God.
What a fucking travel we're having.
What?
This is good. Cole needs
This
this.
is good.
Who's keeping watch
Yeah.
tonight?
To be honest, it's fair. I mean, a plague's happening. It's not gonna be
Yeah,
that
no one's
eventful, right?
that far out.
Yeah.
That's the third day. Who's keeping watch for tonight?
Chancebell.
Percy
Okay.
will.
Cole is gonna ask Percy to do the thing again.
You just do
Yeah,
it, and
Percy-
don't roll it again. You're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Percy just like, alright, again, sleep. And then he
And-
tucks him in again,
Like,
picks him up,
ooh, I rolled a high number this time, baby. Let's go.
picks him up like a little
Oh
bambino.
no.
Let me actually.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not like the high numbers don't matter. It's like
Oh.
each number has a different thing. So
Ah.
if I rolled like a 90 for for example, that could still be nothing.
I see.
Let's see. Oh god. Where is it? It's still nothing! Fuck it! I hate it here. I want to go home.
Ivan.
Absolutely nothing.
Day 4, you guys are approaching Fuyu.
Oh, and Cole is well rested now. He's back to himself.
He's snoozy. Alrighty. Okay, I roll another high number. Let's see. Okay, well that's nothing. That's.
Fucking dragon.
I guess that's kind of interesting. But something happens.
Ooh.
You guys,
Wow!
it's not hard to miss. You guys see a freshly slain deer nearby the road. A flock of crows are feeding on the corpse, and you see one of the crows is much fatter than the others, almost twice the size. That's
Whoa.
it. That's it. That's it.
Crazy.
Do what you want with it. I don't care.
Yeah,
That's
we're
fair.
getting here.
River is going to use one of his 2 per day guiding bolts on the fattest crow.
What? What the fuck?
Whoa!
What the fuck?
I didn't see that coming.
I thought you were gonna speak with animals.
What the
Yeah.
fuck? That came out of left field. I'm shocked. Are you
It
actually?
really shows the state of mind
Yes.
of River.
Roll
Percy's gonna. Can I try to intercept this?
I mean, okay, just cast the spell. Cast the spell, please. Cast the spell.
He did.
Okay. What are the components of guiding bolt?
Verbal and somatic.
Very
So-
somatic.
No, you just see River snap his fingers and go boom, and then you're just like, huh? And then there's a fucking guiding bolt comes down and fucking smacks this fat ass crow.
Cole turns to River. Nice.
It fucking
Appetizers.
Here, let me explain what happens. So you guiding bolt this crow. You roll damage, please.
Oh my god, does an 11 hit? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I would explain to you. A fucking crow has 1 hit point. You just killed it. You killed it once and then 20 times again. So this crow's like pecking at this deer and you like guiding bolt it and it smacks down and it just fucking explodes. It just fucking explodes. There is not even a skerrick of flesh left on this crow. It is just gone. 1 second it's there, guiding bolt comes down, it's just gone. The other crows fly away.
Okay, yeah, you go first, Shades.
You get you get a couple crows in like the crossfire, so not only did you explode this fat crow, you killed like 5 other crows, and like the 2 crows that are left fly away.
Well, Chains is gonna start carving, I guess.
The deer?
Yeah, we're gonna get some meat.
River's gonna collect the crow bodies on like a rope.
There's no crow bodies left, you exploded
You
them!
exploded them!
No, I
Percy-
exploded one. You said there was like 5 more.
Yeah, but they're also like in the crossfire of crow explosion.
That's a lot of damage.
Like a couple of them have
Percy
broken
ripped
wings and
these
like the fucking like some of them aren't even dead. Like some of them just have like fucking life-threatening injuries and like can't fly away.
Percy looks at River and Shane's like, if Percy could swear right now, but Percy's legally not allowed to swear. Percy's like, what are you guys doing?
Oh, by the way, can I check what killed the deer?
I guess, yeah. Roll survival. Sorry,
Percy's
I'm in
like-
shock.
Percy's like head in his hands, like what the fuck?
Chains, you have no fucking idea what killed this deer.
Alright,
Check.
good.
Percy's gonna look to River. He's like, aren't you like a nature guy? Why'd you just explode the bird?
Like I've said before, I'm a druid of the stars, not of the crows.
Druid of the crow, circle of the crow.
Why did you kill it? Percy looks upset at River.
This is
Like,
reminding
very upset.
This is reminding
just
me
having a
of
bad
the
day.
of the rock incident from the first Spellbound.
Oh no.
Cole will draw like a souvenir drawing for a bowstring about River zapping a fat crow.
What the f- Percy's like, why'd you kill it? It was just feeding.
Dinner?
Dinner?
River just like shrugs.
Can't
And
you
he's
make
like, dinner?
You literally made food. You have rations.
I can't eat berries.
You have rations, don't you? And Percy looks at like the exploded pile and he's like, what dinner did we get from that? It's a rotten carcass and a bunch of.
No, it's
Percy looks at-
it's freshly slain. It's
Oh,
not
it's
rotten.
Fresh.
It's fresh. Okay, but Percy's like.
I guess dibs on the deer. And Cole walks out.
Percy looks like he's about to cry.
Oh.
So either way, carrying.
Hey, at least we don't have to use our well-bought rations tonight, right?
Percy looks really fucking upset at River. He's just gonna keep walking.
Anyway.
Try to snag some of the feathers.
Yeah, I
Guys,
mean they're everywhere, so
Just so you know, River, one of Percy's core tenets is nature is beautiful and should always be protected, and it is. You just fucking went against one of Percy's core tenets and exploded a bird for no fucking reason.
I am like I don't even know what to say. Like I'm like lost.
Either way,
So
we got the thing.
River's gonna gather some feathers.
Great.
Percy's gonna stand away from this. He wants nothing to do with this.
Okay, you guys get some deer meat, I guess.
Yep, I'll
Also,
cook it.
did River know what killed deer?
You want to roll survive? No, a sword.
A
It looks
sword?
like. I want to explain something. Can I completely this is very metagamey. I want to explain that what that encounter was. You just killed a level 2 druid.
fucking psycho.
My God.
Wait, hang on. If it's a druid, shouldn't they just shift back into
Yeah.
their form after the hit?
Usually, you killed it 3 times! It was level 2!
Well,
You did enough damage. So it had
So-
15 hit points. It did not roll well on hit points. Crows have 1 HP. So you just killed this fat crow. It shapeshifted into a normal person, and then you just killed it again.
so
but we'll
does
never know.
Did the person drop anything?
What the?
No!
Sick. You're sick!
It!
You disintegrated him!
That's
It was a
okay.
druid.
Well, they
We'll
won't,
never know.
they won't be missed.
River's a fucking psychopath. What
I mean,
the fuck?
you guys don't know that in character. You guys don't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Kara's like, wait, I just killed that dude. Wait, did he drop something?
Yeah, what the fuck is
It's like,
You
did-
guys
did the
don't know
person
that in
drop anything
character.
That would have like
Mhm.
gave me a clue that it was a druid or something.
It was fat and double the size of a regular crow.
So
And we didn't really check. We just
You just
Yeah.
it was an
didn't,
instant
you didn't
reactive.
roll investigation. You didn't roll arcana. You didn't do anything. You just killed it.
Right.
You just
And
looked
you're
at a bird and
blaming
still
me.
fucking
You're
murder.
blaming me. That's
Um,
not how
I'm
this
not
is gonna
blaming
go
you.
down.
Yeah,
Either
like,
way.
I
Wha- wha-
promise I am not a.
He could have been
Hobo
evil. Who
killer?
knows?
Uh-huh.
No, we know.
Once Cole's done with the drawing, he actually was like, I don't think Bowstring should see this drawing. And then he crumples the paper and throws it away.
Good idea. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, so for the rest of the trip, Percy's not going to talk to River at all.
Okay.
River accepts this fate.
Anyway, by nightfall, you guys have reached for you.
Yum yum. Thanks for the grub.
Anyway.
I swear I am not a murder hobo. I didn't
No.
know.
No, we know you didn't know.
It's okay. That was
It's
really
okay.
funny. I real like
I
even
just
more
thought it was like an alpha crow or something.
even more metagamey. That druid was evil. So, yeah.
Oh.
It was an evil
well, good
druid.
job.
It was a druid of pestilence. So
Ah.
yeah, it was a druid of
Oh, well-
druid of disease, which is why it is here. Because disease.
Oh, well, good job, Kara.
but we don't know that.
You guys
so-
don't know that.
You guys
We're-
don't even
we're-
know it was a druid. You guys just killed a really fat crow. That's what you
What?
believe.
That's just a
Okay,
really
what-
funny story.
Is that like the alpha crow of this flock or whatever?
Yeah, that's what you believe.
Uh-huh.
Technically it was, but it was also an evil druid with that thrives off of disease. So
We did it.
So yes, River's mindset, he thought it was just like the leader crow of that flock.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Chains doesn't care.
Percy's
Yeah.
mindset is you just killed a fucking creature participating in its natural rituals for no fucking reason and stole its fruit.
Technically, that happens in nature all the time.
whatever. Moving on. You guys are in
Yeah, yeah,
Fugu, and it is
Mhm.
desolate. I would probably say change the music jam to something a little bit more sorrowful.
Spooky?
Not spooky, just
Okay.
sorrowful.
Okay, let me get the
Not
the
some
track
hope,
I'm
not
looking.
some hopeful tunes. Some oh dear.
Sad.
Yeah, sad.
Depresso.
Chains.
Mhm.
This is your
Yes.
hometown. This looks like the place in your dream.
Hmm.
That dream where Ink died.
I think I do want Chains to just start walking into the area where Ink died.
It's the town square, and it's almost as if you can see your own body there. There is nothing there, but the memory is so vivid to you at this point in time that it's like you're reliving it all over again in the dark of the night.
Hmm.
The streets are empty. Which is not strange, as it is nighttime, but it's more uncannily empty.
No lights on. Is it just straight up dark?
Straight up dark. No lights on,
Shit.
nothing. Did you just say shit?
No.
Okay. Just double checking. Just double checking. Just want to make sure.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let me think. Okay. I guess. I mean, Chains goes to the place where he died, or wants to walk to the place where he died.
Right.
He also wants to look around.
Yeah, again.
Um,
Roll perception for me. Ow. Sorry, I cracked my arm. 26. Chains, you swear you can see a white-haired woman watching you from behind a building.
Okay.
But other than that, you see nothing out of the ordinary of what you've already seen. You blink and then the white-haired figure is gone. You don't know it's there,
Oh.
Carl. Shut up.
while this is happening, River's gonna say, "So, should we find some place to set up shop for a bit?"
Yeah.
Uh,
Would I be able to roll a perception as well, just as a general look around?
Yeah, go ahead.
19.
You
Wait,
do not see
you know
the
what?
white-haired figure.
I wanna do perception too.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
River would also like. to.
Okay, go do it. It's your character, Booba.
Huh?
Oh,
And
let's
at
see
the
your
bottom.
character.
I'm so. Oh my god.
You're
Did
good.
I not?
Yeah,
It's
Was
okay.
I doing rolls without this? Oh my
Yes.
god.
It's okay. It happens. It happens. It happens.
it's okay. I think we just didn't notice because your profile picture is still Cole.
I'll take the
Okay.
first roll. Percy, Cole, and River, you do not see the figure.
But what do we see?
Again,
The desolate streets of Fuyu.
Okay. Would Chains? I mean, I'm not too sure on the detail, but would Chains remember? Chains knows where he lives, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how James doesn't mention the fucking lady.
He doesn't care. Not his business.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Chains would like to go to his house.
Okay, Chains, you head towards your childhood home.
I guess River follows.
Actually, do we know that this is his hometown?
Yeah, he said so
Mhm.
to
Oh,
us.
he said so. Yes. that's
Yeah,
okay.
he did.
Okay,
So
yeah,
we all
Percy's gonna-
follow.
Percy's gonna follow quietly.
Yeah.
Chains, you approach your childhood home. The stairs leading up to the front door are kind of dusty. Like, this place hasn't been visited in a long time. But just from your general perception, as you could say, you see footprints in the dust leading up to the stairs and walking into the house. They seem to be fresh. They seem to be new.
Okay. Chains will follow these footprints slowly.
The front door is locked.
Oh, it's locked. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Huh.
Chains, what is this place?
Chains just like nonchalantly looks over and it's like, tilting his head back towards them and just like, my home.
So, do you have like a key for it or something?
Venus,
Chan-
can you describe what we see in the building?
Well, you can't.
Hmm.
The windows are like shut. So like there are like wooden
Oh.
like blinds on the windows, and they are shut.
Oh.
It's quite an extravagant house. Like, it seems like this is like some sort of like minor nobility's house. Looks to be about 2-bedroom. 2-3-bedroom, just from what you can gather from the outside. There's a welcome mat right out front of the door. And there's lots of like unlit lanterns like hanging. And you guys can see a sign, like handmade sign, like not professionally made at all. Just words carved into a piece of wood that says potion shop.
Okay. Can I lockpick the door?
Do you have thieves tools? You probably do because you're a rogue.
Yeah, I
Let
have
me-
these too.
Okay, roll for thieves tools. So just you have your proficiency there. So you click on proficiency there, and the attribute I want is dexterity.
Okay. Oh. How do I do this?
So
Okay,
in your
I'll
tool
figure this out.
proficiencies and custom skills, click on Thieves Tools,
Uh-huh.
and then a
Okay.
window will pop up, and it'll be like,
Oh.
what attribute do you want to use? I want dexterity, please.
Ooh.
James, you lockpick the door!
Okay.
Can River check under the welcome mat to see if there's an extra key?
Sure. No, there is not. There is just more dust. Sniff, sniff.
Okay. Chains opens the door.
You kind of like gently push it, and the door like creaks open, as if the hinges have not been oiled either. This house surely is abandoned.
Can River snatch one of the lanterns that are hanging?
Yes. They're like paper
And-
lanterns.
River is going to cast Continual Flame
Okay. No, that's not the flame sounds.
to light the to put the flame inside the lantern to make some sort of light.
Okay. You guys have a little paper lantern that River's carrying to guide you through the house.
Okay. As I open the door, I want to scan what I can see of the first floor or whatever.
Yeah. So you're in the entrance hall. A red rug kind of like running into like the hallway. There's a coat hanger with nothing on it, as you would expect. Again, those footprints, you can see them leading upstairs.
Okay. I want to walk around the first floor. I'm assuming there's not much else to find. Or-
Again, it's been abandoned for a long time. You find
Okay.
unused potion supplies in the kitchen. Some things have been turned around and like moved recently. You can tell just from how the dust has been stirred. Like very recently. Everyone roll perception. Chains, Percy, and River. You hear footsteps from the floor above you.
Percy's gonna like instantly put like a finger to his mouth to signal to be quiet.
Cole will firmly grasp his mallet.
Okay. Okay. Honest. Okay. Honest action. Okay. I'll do an honest action.
Okay.
Chains will speak out loud.
Real Chains moment.
And basically loudly, who's there?
The footsteps stop.
Percy's gonna fucking get his weapon out now because they're in a high stress situation.
The footsteps stop, and you hear they stop briefly, and then you hear them pick up speed as if this person is running. They pick up in speed and wait, and they're heading back towards the stairs.
Cole will start hopping and chasing after wherever the sound is coming from.
So
They're coming towards us.
They're coming towards you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
River's gonna be ready to meet them at the stairs.
Yes.
Okay.
Percy's gonna try hide.
Okay. Roll stealth.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
Heavy armor?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he was scale man.
The footsteps continue in wait and get louder as they approach you, and you see a demi-tabaxi run down the stairs, like heavily breathing, seeming panicked. Chains. This person is about 19 years of age. Pale skin, white hair, golden eyes. You see on their face is red eyeliner. And Chains, I want you to roll a wisdom save for me.
Okay, here we go.
Oh no.
Chains,
Oh, no.
you see this person and immediately dread fills you. You feel a pit in your stomach as this person looks at you, and rage crosses every feature on their face as they stomp towards you and punch you directly in the jaw.
River's gonna butt himself between the two after that.
Yeah.
I need to roll to hit first, everyone.
Yeah.
What's this? Oh, thank you. I got bacon and hash browns.
Yes, go baby.
Let's go.
Chains, that's a 24 hit.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
You knew it hit, you bastard.
I think so. Okay. Chains, that does. Let me do math. 6 bludgeoning damage to your face. Please don't.
Oh,
Take
that's a...
6 damage away from your face.
Okay.
And then River's gonna step in between the two and sort of like keep the Demi-Tabaxi from doing any more damage.
Cole is gonna
I'm not-
point his mallet towards this Demi-Tabaxi, be like, "Hey, who are you? What do you think you're doing?"
Chains, that with a roll that low, you know exactly who this is, and you understand why they are so furious at seeing your face. And not only does the guilt wash over you as you are holding your injured face that was just punched, you watch tears stream down this person's face as they just fall to their knees and start bawling. Chains, this is your younger sibling, Blight of a Dove.
Fuck.
I figured. Okay.
Okay, what's it? Percy looks really confused about what the fuck is happening, because this is obviously not like an attack or an ambush. That was like an emotionally charged like outburst.
Either way. Chains. Basically, still holding his face, and then just hesitantly making eye contact.
I will say,
with-
immediately, Chains, you feel the need to protect this person. You feel
Yeah.
a feeling of failure wash over you as you feel like you have already failed in that quest.
And Chains will approach Flight or Dove.
Dove.
Flight. Dove. Will approach Dove, and I think Chains will just go for a full hug, even if it's resisted.
They don't fight back.
And Chains will hold Dove in his arms.
So does this family not just talk? Is this what is going on? Cole is confused.
Cole,
Well, hang on, we don't know if they're siblings
It's
yet.
very clear that
That's
they
fine.
are siblings. It's very clear.
Okay.
They look very,
It's just
very
their
similar.
eyes and the hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am in the same boat as you, Cole. This is a weird family.
Let them have their moment. Emotions can't always be expressed through words.
Okay, I guess we'll wait for them to say something. He awkwardly puts his mallet back.
Chains, you
You
feel
think you should clean this place?
like fists like punching you in the back as like your sibling continues to sob.
Chains just whispers in their ear, "Dove, I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
And they stop punching you. And they go silent. They stop crying.
The Chains just silently holds them, and just to add, there's too much guilt to question it right now, so it's just a silent hold. I'm sorry, you guys have to bear with that.
No, that's okay.
That's okay.
Percy's just like watching. He's gonna keep guard outside, like kind of like looking outside to make sure nothing else is approaching. He doesn't want to interrupt this moment. He knows how important sibling reunions are.
Cole is impatient, so he does interrupt this moment. Who are you?
Chains doesn't react.
When you did this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Cole looks at River. Cole looks at River like, help.
River would like to go upstairs.
Okay.
Wait,
Help!
no,
Fucking leaves.
you can't. Are we just? Fine. Cole follows River.
Okay. Chains, under his breath, is just saying, "What happened?"
We'll get back to you. We'll go to River and Cole. Okay.
Mhm. Ooh.
Okay. So, River, Cole, you go upstairs. Yes, Percy?
I just want to say real quick, can I do just like a perception check outside of
Yeah,
make sure
yeah,
nothing's
go.
coming? Okay, Percy's first gonna cast guidance on himself.
Mhm.
And then he's going to perception check it.
Will you use your guidance?
Yeah. So that's a 20. Dirty 20.
You blink, and for a brief moment you can see a woman with white hair watching from the rooftops. And then it's gone.
Is she like looking directly at Percy or
She's looking at the door to the building.
Percy's grip tightens and he's even further on guard now.
Okay. River and Cole, you go upstairs. And you feel dread just wash over you again. This kid has been living here for God knows how long. You see a bedroll laid across the floor, wear and tear for maybe over years, you can see. You see moldy bread sitting, just laying across the floor, scattered everywhere. You see blood. You assume it's not theirs. You think this kid's been living here for God knows how long.
As Chain sees more of this, Chain just embraces Dove even tighter.
But you're still on the other floor, right? Or
Yeah, you're still downstairs, Chains. River and Cole are
Okay.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Cole's like, when I first saw this house, I thought it was really big and nice from the outside, but
Mhm.
it seems like that kid had it rough. He looks at River.
You see River with his eyes to the floor.
Just who is Chains? What is going on?
I don't know, but I can't look at this and just leave that kid here.
Cole will try to examine the room for any clues of like their identity, of anything that he could find out, because clearly these two siblings aren't gonna tell him anything.
Roll investigation, please.
River tried to like tidy up the
You're
moldy
No, you're
bread
fine.
and everything.
Fine,
River-
nothing.
Can River try to like tidy up the area?
Incredible.
Yeah, sure. You start like collecting empty potion bottles and like aligning them neatly, just along like the only still standing shelf that you can see.
Is there a window?
There are windows, but they're all drawn shut.
Can River open one of them to throw the moldy bread out?
Yeah. You throw the moldy bread out. Let me roll a percentile die. Percy, you feel something soft land on your head. It is moldy bread.
Percy, Percy like instinctively like slashes it like above, like he's fucking really tense at the moment.
You got a piece of moldy bread.
Percy's gonna like look at it disgusted and throw it away, and like look upstairs and see where the bread came from.
Came from an open window.
An open window.
Percy's gonna sigh and just keep watching out for the woman that he saw.
River's gonna throw more bread out the window.
You make an effort
Yeah,
not to
Percy-
hit Percy in the head this time.
There's one thing I would like to cast a spell, by the way.
Go for it.
It's called Repel Bread. No, I want to cast Detect Evil and Good. Percy's holding his necklace as he begins to mutter to himself. Let me see beyond. And Percy's putting this out to try to see if that ghost girl gets close again, whatever the fuck that was.
Aside from your party, obviously, like, the Celestial and Aberration over chains, and obviously a Celestial watching over River and yourself, you don't really see anything.
Okay, before we head back upstairs, Percy's gonna, like, walk towards where he saw the girl and see if, like, her presence is still lingering.
No. Nothing.
Okay, he's gonna walk back and begin guarding the house again. Stepping, like, to the left of the window this time.
I'm eating bacon.
River is going to, like, gesture to Cole to, like, help clean up the area.
I didn't sign up for. Fine. And then he like starts folding the sheets neatly to the side.
Oh.
Is there a broom anywhere?
No. No.
No.
I wonder how those two are doing. As he says this as he's like awkwardly rolling the sleeping mat to the wall.
Ooh, transition! And we return to Chains and Dove. Eventually, Chains, your little sibling, lets go of you, and you see, like, as they pull away from the embrace, their, like, eyes are, like, bloodshot, red, puffy, like, you know. They also seem shaky, like, very shaky. And they just, they look at your face as if they're taking in every feature.
Okay, here we go. So let's see. Would Chains look away, or would he keep? No, this is Chains. Okay, so Chains holds Dove's hand and smiles softly, and no, eyes avert. I'm sorry.
Are you gonna ask them any questions? By the way, Dove is non-binary, so please only refer to them with they, them pronouns. Thank you.
So,
Hom, hom, hom.
Chain still feels the dread, right?
It's still there. It's more so guilt, and but in the same breath, you also feel relieved that they're alive, because you haven't seen them since that day. But questions also arise in your mind.
Okay. So Chain's eyes focused onto Dove's, and holding their hand, and in a serious tone, what happened?
They kind of like let out a breath. They say, now or years ago.
Let's see. Years ago.
They look sad. People were chasing you, and they chased you back here. I don't know what you did, and I don't think you know either. But they followed you here. You must have done something bad to them because they killed everyone. They left no one alive. I was out hunting with Father, and when we came back, everyone was dead.
What happened to Father?
He left me. He said that he would go search for Mother, and he never returned.
And then So you've been here this whole time?
They don't speak, but you know that the answer is yes.
Hmm. Oh, there's a question I want to ask, but it's just like, do I want to ask it? Hold on, I gotta think about it. Okay. Okay, just out of character.
Mhm.
Chains is aware in that dream that he died, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I guess Chains is just gonna ask straight up. Maintain eye contact with Dove and just ask, "How am I alive?"
I don't know. I remember burying you. And Ink. I never found Summer's body. I never found Mother's body. They were gone.
Chains looks at his right arm for a moment, pulling his hand away, and he motions to grab the letter that he got from Madeline.
Ooh, shit.
Okay, what do you do with it? Do you just grab it? Or are you asking...
I just grab it.
Okay, are you going to show your sib the letter?
What's that?
Are you going to show your sibling the letter, or are you going to read it out?
Yeah. I'm gonna show the. Well, oh, I could read it out. I'm gonna show sibling the letter.
Okay, you
Percy be able to hear this?
you hear the conversation very muffled from behind the walls.
Yeah, gotcha.
You show Dove the letter, and they scan every word. And they seem to get even angrier than they were when they saw you. Like, as their eyes scan the page, they get furious.
Chance holds on to their shoulder. What's wrong?
Your sibling stands up.
Hmm.
And he crumples up the letter and they throw it away.
Hmm.
And they look down at you, still, like, kneeling on the floor, Chains.
Hmm.
And they say, he left me. Just like everyone else. Just like you did. But this time he was alive, and he never came back for me. He knew I wasn't dead. He knew I was here. He left me here to rot.
Okay, so Chain stands up and holds goes to hug Dove again.
They shove you away. And
Dove.
Chains, you know your sibling very well. You look at their face, and they just speak with venom coating every word. I'm going to kill him.
Chain just looks down at his right arm, and then just holds on to the green cloak. And then whispers to himself, "What happened?"
He was with you that day, when they came for us. Why did he live and you didn't? Why did I have to bury my own brother? Why did he leave me here?
Dove. Dove. Come with us, and we'll go find him together.
They
Chains grasps onto the cloak harder.
look at you. like scanning your face. Okay.
Chains walks.
they know.
I think at this point, hearing their conversation wrap up, Percy's gonna walk back inside to them.
I guess Colin and River are gonna regroup.
You guys
Chains is looking away, by the way.
return downstairs.
Yeah, Percy's gonna walk in. It's like, so he looks to Dove and he bows and he's like, nice to meet you. Sorry for the circumstances.
They nod.
Wait, what circumstances? I'm so confused. Who are you?
Yeah, I would like to know the same thing.
They look at Chains.
Yeah, Percy looks at Chains like, it's not my. I regretfully heard a little bit of it as I was guarding, but not my
And
style.
one of you two just tell us, please.
Colin like is growing angry now. He's like, Chains, enough. Who is this? Why are we in your house? What is going on?
Chains is gonna walk over to the crumpled paper letter to pick it up, and as he's picking it up, he looks. Oh, my dog. Looks up at the ceiling. Oh, okay. My dog's going crazy. Okay. Looks up at the ceiling, and then looks over to Dove, and says, "This is my home." And this is my younger sibling, Dove. And then Chains goes back to look at the crumpled letter in his hand.
Yes? Go on. What is that thing in your hand there, Chains? Colin like slowly is approaching him.
Dove says nothing.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
River's just gonna give a side look towards Dove.
Can Cole try to attempt to snatch the paper from him?
Sure. Chains, are you letting that happen or are you trying to stop him?
Let me think about it. Chains honestly doesn't care. Yeah, Chains could let it happen.
Okay, I am going to send the letter in your logs. Boomba.
Finally, something juicy, man.
There you go.
I've been
my
trying all
God.
session.
You can
Okay.
you can read it out loud if you'd like.
Okay.
Please do.
Please
Okay,
do, otherwise we're gonna have to
so-
rotate this. Like,
Let's see here. Cole starts to read. Dear Madeline, I hope this letter finds you well. I found out through some friends that you had something to do with Burden of Chains. Wait, that's your name, isn't it? Oh, wait, never mind. Okay. I hope it was nothing bad. I doubt you had any negative effect on whatever occurred with my friend. I worry. I feel pain in my chest more and more these days. I miss him with each day that passes. It has been 4 years since my dear friends have passed. All because of a silly mistake. If he really is alive, please, just tell me. I cannot live any longer with the mystery. The pain knowing that I did nothing in regards to my dear friend's demise. If you ever see him again, tell him I am searching for him. I am sure once he knows that what you have done, he will kill you. If you don't respond to this letter, I will kill you myself, Madeline. Ophelia, your gods cannot save you now. From General Solstice of Summer of the Weaver Army. Cole kind of looks
Dude.
up from the letter.
So, those are a
Do
lot of
any
names
of-
that I don't know about.
Yeah, do any of the names ring any bells for any of us?
You know Madeline. That
You
was
know
at
Madeline.
the venue.
Yeah,
By the way.
we know Madeline, of course, yeah. I assume we don't know the others.
You know Bernard Chains, and there's only one other name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we know who General Solstice of or what the Weaver army is?
Chains would know.
Okay,
Um.
I assume
Paul would
assume the
too.
others.
Cole, the Weaver Army
There we go.
is the royal army of Ori.
Ah.
And Chains, you know this
Wait.
too.
Wait. So you know someone from the army here? Chains. Who's General Solstice, and why does he want to kill Madeline? What did she do to you?
Trent just shrugs. That's what I want to find out.
Dove crosses their arms.
You, little one. Surely, can you tell me something more that we don't know about this letter?
They kind of scoff. And they say, Solstice was always obsessed with Chains. Saw him as a savior, as a leader, more so than Ink did. There's no doubt that he wants Chains back. And once he found out that Chains was... He, looks... They, look their sibling up and down. Alive. They wanted to find him.
So, person in power obsessed with Chains found out Chains isn't dead and wants to have Chains. Is that what
Why
I'm
did-
getting out of this?
They let out a breath.
Hmm.
There was a lot that you didn't know about your friend. Ink was an open book. She was easy to read. Solstice hid everything.
Chains
Okay.
clutches his right hand.
You Ink? Okay. Hold on.
Who's Ink?
Dove, you have to explain what's going on from the beginning, please.
Because Chains doesn't know everything yet.
I gathered.
Poor Dove.
They look at you, Chains, ask, as if a silent question, am I allowed to tell the story?
Chains looks up, and pauses for a moment, and then looks over to Dove and just nods.
They sigh. I don't know the full story, but what I remember is that Chains and Solstice came home from a long journey. And when they returned, they were followed. They were followed by some people who they slighted. They made enemies and they followed them back. I wasn't there when it happened, but when I came back, all of my friends were dead. My brother was dead. I found my brother's body. I laid him to rest. I buried him with my own hands. And then I found Ink, one of our closest friends, and I buried her as well. Father returned with me. We were out for a hunt that day. He put his hands on my shoulders and said, I'm going to go look for your mother. And he never came back.
While Dove was describing what happened to his family and friends, you could visibly see Cole kind of slouched down. He's clearly very uncomfortable, as if he knows exactly what that feels like.
The town is still abandoned. No one knows. It's just me here. And I know the
Chains,
disease originated from here. They look up. I know it did. Because they take a deep breath. I'm what they would call a patient zero.
Patient zero.
So, you're the first person who had the disease?
They nod.
From what we've heard of the disease, it seems to be rather fatal when you get it. Are you still under the effects, or have you recovered?
I'm still infected, but I'm not going to die. It's been in my body long enough that I've become immune.
This would be very beneficial.
Percy looks obviously, I assume they're wearing masks at this point, actually, since we're in like the infected for you area.
Mhm.
Like beneath the mask, Percy looks kind of disgusted at River, like talking about her as if she's useful or like a tool. It's like, well, he thinks for a moment. I was gonna say that we might be able to get you into safety. We currently own a keep.
I can protect
We would have been
myself.
able to... He nods. He
uh,
looks around.
But from the looks of upstairs, you would be in a better situation if you were to leave.
What do you
So-
expect a scavenger to do when they're ill? Find food? I was bedridden for weeks. I had to live off of... They stopped themselves. Never
Moldy
mind.
bread.
More than that. They look at you. And they like
There was blood in
they lift up their pant leg and you see like a healed over like wound. You can't just survive off of bread. And they drop their pant leg back down.
How long? Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Ruth. I think you've been
Alright.
trying to talk.
That's okay. That's okay. So Chains walks over to Dove and places his hand on their head, and then with a smile, is it a yeah, basically, but it's I'm trying to figure out the word this guys, let's see how to say this. I'm bringing Dove along with me so we could find Summer, and I think we should go back to Madeline.
Percy nods.
Couldn't
Cool.
we find some way to contain, since, you know, they're still infected and everything?
Well, from what I've heard, Madeline seems to be immune, or at least able to avoid being infected. She's surrounded by those weird moving statues, so it's probably the best place. And he looks towards Dove, and I mean, if you'd be willing, maybe she can help in figuring out a cure. But I'm not
They
gonna
shake their
make
head.
that choice for you.
It seems Cole waves a letter. I don't trust this Madeline person. I don't know.
The one you shouldn't be trusting is Solstice of Summer. He is a liar and a thief.
Solstice of summer. Oh, Cole notes. Another general. I wonder if Anders knows about him.
They inhale and they start to speak again. I am non-infectious.
You have tested it?
Yes.
Percy
People have
nods.
come through. I have spoken to them. They still live.
So you just suffer the symptoms yourself, but can't pass them on to others?
I suffered them. I suffer them no longer. I am stronger now. It did things to my body that I can't repair.
Percy nods sadly.
Is there
Well-
anything you need before we go? I think.
Maybe
think
some
we
better. Percy's gonna go into his bag and pull out some rations. Maybe something a little bit more sustaining, and he offers them towards her.
They take it and they start nibbling on
Oh,
it.
them. Sorry.
No, it's
Yeah.
fine. They go by like they, them, she, her.
Yeah.
You're all good.
Yeah,
Mm.
easy.
So they start nibbling it, and then they with like food in their mouth they speak. I believe that the goal of the disease isn't to kill people.
Is it like a torture
They
thing?
they shake their head. No, quite the opposite actually. It's about weeding out the weak and finding the strong. And those who are strong, those who live, get abilities.
Percy nods. You said it's done things to your body that you can't. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
So what did it do to you?
You see now, like, in closer inspection, they're, like, wearing a, like, full-length glove on their, left arm. They kind of, like, roll down the glove, and you see that their skin has, like, changed into, like, scales, almost. And their hand is, like, clawed. Like, almost like a lizard. Like lizard folk.
Cole takes a look and he's like, I see.
They roll up the glove again, and they look at Chains. I had always wanted to be like my brother. I never knew that it would come to be like this.
Cole takes a look at Chains' arm at that comment.
What does that mean?
Their ears twitch. And they look at you, River, like they're confused. What do you mean? The spells. The casting. I wanted to do that too. But it wasn't in my blood.
Spells?
Percy looks confused.
Chains can
Chains?
cast spells?
Shane's has never casted a spell. He's only ever brewed potions and... I mean, he's a crack shot with a bow, but...
They turn to look at you, Chains, and they seem like really concerned. Do you not have your magic?
Okay, how do I go about this?
Chains, you don't remember having magic. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
that's
that
what I was
much.
gonna say. Chains tilts his head.
I'm crunching, sorry.
Magic.
They nod.
Chains shakes his head. I don't remember having
Do,
magic.
do you know why he doesn't remember anything?
They kind of like scan Chains' features. It's alchemy. He's not... They pause. He's not alive, to say the least. In case you hadn't gathered that already. They put a hand on your chest, Chains, as if to make a demonstration, and they listen for a moment. See? No heartbeat. No breath. He's not alive.
So when Percy does detect evil and good, does he detect Chains to be an undead creature?
No.
Percy looks confused at this.
Cole is like, no. He's alive. You see, just a few days ago, I saw him bleed. I saw him get hurt. Cole proceeds to explain what had transpired in their keep.
They
just
nod.
a few days ago.
Yes. He is man-made.
Chains looks away and just like to himself says, "Am I even Chains?"
You are. They like punch you in the shoulder.
Well,
I know my
he
brother
kinda
when I
look-
see him.
He looks towards Dove and is like, well, yeah, something very strange happened several days ago, and afterwards, I mean, we've been with Chains for about a month or two now, and he was always very quiet, more the type to sit back and take notes than to really say anything, but after what happened, he's started being a lot more outspoken, smiling. He never smiled before, but he started smiling now. He, like, is that... If Chains has lost his memory, is that more so like the Chains you remember? Or...
Yes. Chains would smile whenever he felt bad.
Oh.
Chains is kind of like a robot for the first couple of months.
Yes, because
Very
he was
analytical.
relearning the world. He still has his soul, from what I can tell.
But why was he bleeding like that? Is there something after him? Is this the alchemy process? Like he's Cole's still trying to
Yeah.
process everything.
Dove
So-
looks
Mm.
like they ponder for a moment. And Chains, you know one thing about your sibling. They are smarter than you. Like, they are very, very intelligent. They were always way better at alchemy than you were, but in a different way. You liked exploding things. They liked coming up with new things. And yes, there was a lot of explosions involved, but it was more so them testing things out than just haphazardly putting things together like you did. So they think for a moment, and then they look back up. You see, Chains did die that day, 4 years ago. He died. He was dead. Like I said, I buried him with my own hands. But they pause. As if they're still trying to think about, like, how to properly say, phrase, and, you know, get across what they're trying to say. You can't bring someone back from the dead without a cost.
There were two forces inside him. Is that what you're referring to?
They blink for a moment. Like, they just blink. Like, shut their eyes, and they think. No. That is wrong. One, they hold up one finger, already has hold of him. And the other, they put up their second finger, is trying to fight for control. The second thing is the thing that brought him back. The first thing was already inside of him.
Which is which? I saw something that looked celestial, almost godly, and then another thing was, and he kind of like holds his head trying to figure out how to describe the force he sees whenever he looks towards Chains. It's
Abnormal.
It's almost too much to describe. Yeah, it's like too
Yes.
much to describe.
That
Which one had?
is Chains.
Is that?
That is not
That's
a figure. That is Chains, the root of his magic. His bloodline.
Cole rubs his head, like, kind of, like, angry at all the information, like, he's trying to understand. He's like, wait, so Cole Chains is inside Chains, but there's someone else that's fighting for Chains.
Yes.
Okay.
So
By the way, Chains is gonna go walk outside, nonchalantly, to just look around to see if that person who he saw before is still around.
Roll perception for me. Dove's going to keep explaining.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, that is Chains' soul. It came up as unknown because his bloodline is related to aberrations. Which is why it was so vague, so fuzzy. I've seen it before too.
So that's him, and the celestial force is trying to take control.
Yes. That's just my hypothesis. I believe that celestial figure is trying to take control of Chains' body and make it their own.
Percy looks towards River. River, when you were trying to repel the forces within him, which one did you try to stop?
I guess an aberration.
And
So
Percy-
I guess I was trying to stop Chains' soul.
So this aberration it's the root of his magic, almost like his bloodline, correct?
Yes. Our family has been cursed with an aberrant mind since the beginning.
So that's why he seemed to get worse when River tried to stop the aberration within.
Yes, because that is Chains. You cannot take Chains away from Chains, because then he will not be Chains. Make sense?
Percy nods. So what
Yeah.
would happen if we tried to stop the celestial?
Well, they pause. I assume a similar effect. Because
Percy
it has
nods.
clutches on his soul.
I was told not to interfere. I just wanted to check.
They think for a moment. I believe if you tried to stop the Celestial, Chains would die.
That's what's keeping him alive.
Exactly. The Celestial brought him back. Chains cannot access any of this information as he does not have all of his memories. He needs to unlock all of those before he can commune with either sides. The only way to get rid of this figure is to make a deal with it. That's just what I know from my studies. I'm sure the person who brought him back would have more information than I.
So, you can't talk with either of them?
I did not get blessed with this bloodline. Or cursed, depending on how you look at it.
Okay, hold on. So, Chains doesn't want to interrupt what was just said, though. Who brought me back?
Their ears flick. I don't know. Madeline would have more information than I do, based on that letter. But she does not have the power to bring you back. Not in the form that you are in. She can only attune souls to inanimate objects. You have flesh. You have a heart that does not beat. You have a bloodstream. You, in every form of the word, Chains, are alive. You're just... They pause. Not the you were before.
All at that moment puts his paw on his chest. Kind of confirming, like, the absence of, like, a heartbeat. You really don't have a heart.
It is all false. A false life. But real in the same way.
So, you're saying, if we go to Madeline, would she have more answers for us?
We can hope. This is not the work of Madeline. I studied under her for a few years. This is not her work. If it were, you'd be back in... You'd be glass. You are flesh, you are bone. Your hair grows. Your eyes shine. Anyone could easily mistake you for a real person. But seeing what I saw dispels that.
You say that Chains isn't a real person. What is Chains then?
No, he is real. He is here in front of us, standing there, with a soul, with his voice, with his heart. Figuratively, not literally. But he is here. It's that... They sigh. Your body is still buried, Chains. You're not in the same body you were in all those years ago. You will still grow. To put it simply, you are a man-made humanoid. You are a homunculus.
Oh. That makes sense. Cole's like, I'm sure this topic has been a bit heavy for you, Dove. If you want, we could talk further another time.
Perhaps for now we should get out of here.
Yes.
And truth be told, I've been keeping watch, but there's something out there. The quicker we get away, the better.
Cole's ears twitched. Wait, something's out there?
I saw it for a brief moment when I was standing guard, but it was like a lady with white hair. She was staring directly at the door for a moment, and then she was gone. I tried to see if I could detect her presence afterwards, but she was gone. But I think we should maybe get out of here. She might be haunting this place or something, if it's a place of such death.
Cole's face, you can see visible fear on it. Yes. Let's go. He says as he starts walking outside, quickly as possible.
I need to get my weapon.
Take your time. Percy's gonna insight to see if this is like general ghost fear, if this is something deeper from Cole.
Insight and deception from Cole.
Ah, shit.
You don't know. So far, we're gonna see what Cole rolls for deception. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Dove walks back upstairs.
Has Dove seen the clean room?
Yes, they have. You hear the clattering of some of the bottles as you assume they're scooping them into a bag. And they hop back downstairs, and you see now a short sword at their hilt. It looks like the blade itself is fashioned from a horn or a spine. And it seems to be made of crystal.
Would Percy be able to recognize what kind of horn or
If
horn that
Haname
is?
were here, she would be able to.
Would a Cole be able to?
Yeah,
No,
you
I
know
need to
what?
know.
I would say Percy roll with disadvantage, Cole roll flat.
What am I rolling?
Roll history. Chains, you don't know what this
Also
is.
roll.
History.
Oh no!
History at
Would
disadvantage.
mine be
Yeah.
crap?
Cole.
Okay.
Yeah, none of you know what this is.
Okay.
If you guys want to try another roll to find out, you don't know what the sword is. If you want to try and find out what the thing it's made out of is, I will get a nature check at disadvantage, please.
Okay, yeah, that's what Percy was more curious about. 9.
14!
River,
Nope.
you know a decent amount about, creatures. You kind of study the blade of this sword, and you're like, huh, that's weird. And then you're like, oh, that's what the fuck? This is a spine of a crystal dragon.
Oh!
The blade of
River-
this sword is the spine of a crystal dragon.
River sort of just looks very concerned at Dove.
They look at you. They look confused, why are you staring at me? That's what the kind of look that they're giving you is.
Where'd you get that?
I made it.
So you're telling me you found the corpse of a crystal dragon?
I'm glad you didn't assume that I killed it. No. I bought this from a traveling salesman. The spine, that is. I used an old broken sword and attached the two together. It's not the best work, but it does the trick.
Does it do anything special?
Yes. Do you want to test it? They point their sword at you. With a slight smile on their face.
Cole bursts through the door. Listen, we have to get out of here. He's panicked.
Okay. They put the sword back in the the sheath, and they start walking away.
Is there something out there, Cole?
Something about that figure you mentioned. It's okay. Just walk. Just walk. Just keep walking.
I'm so sorry for the amount of insight checks I'm asking for.
Just
this man
roll.
is so fucking
Just
suspicious.
roll. Roll deception, please, Cole.
Okay.
And it's a
Also roll
23.
insight.
Yeah, go for it, Iba. Anyone who wants to roll insight can roll insight. Roll
Oh,
a
no!
nat one. That is a
Listen.
nat one. Okay. How am I gonna make this? Listen, for all those D&D nerds in the chat, I know you can't crit on fucking ability checks. I don't give a shit, alright? I don't care.
It's funny.
It's funny and fun. Cole, you know very well that you are lying through your teeth right now. You know very, very well. And so does Percy, and so does River. Whatever, you notice that when you mentioned the white-haired figure, Percy, and River, you know this is too, when Percy mentioned that figure, that's when Cole got jittery and fidgety. You assume his behavior has something to do with whoever or whatever that figure is.
River's going to shut the door with everyone inside the house still.
Like, Dove is confused.
Percy-
They're like,
Percy
weren't
was
we leaving?
confused as well.
Aren't we supposed to be leaving?
Yes.
Hold on.
But
Hmm.
Cole,
Yes.
tell us what's going on. Because if it's making you this jittery and this scared, it's important.
Well, if it's making him this jittery and scared, maybe we should get a move on and not lock ourselves inside of a house.
It doesn't matter.
It
I-
does.
No, you don't understand. I can't escape. We can't escape. She's everywhere. She's everywhere.
Who?
Yeah, the white-haired lady.
Yeah.
The safest way for us to travel is if we know details. So, the best way you can protect us, Cole, is by telling us what you know.
Just that Jane's gonna interrupt and approach Dove and just say softly, "Could you take me to where you buried them?"
They nod, and they say, "We'll meet you on the outskirts of town." They open the door and leave.
Mm-hmm.
River
Cole's
lets them.
Cole's
but
like,
closes
huh?
the door.
Hey, he's like, no, we can't separate. And then he kind of gives up because he realizes it's futile. He can't.
Cole,
So
the faster
what's
you tell us, the faster we can get back together.
Yeah, I'm sorry to push like this, but if she's this dangerous, we need to know.
Cool. Cole is half thinking about jumping and running out of the window, but then he's also like, I suppose it's gonna be a bigger inconvenience if you guys don't know. There's this kid. Well, she's not really a kid, but anyways. She's watching me. Everywhere I go, everything I do, she's there. She's keeping an eye. It's strange. She calls me her hero? But it's not in a good way. I don't like being called a hero in the first place, but it seems like she's obsessed. He says, kinda looking at River and Percy. There's a lot more to the story he's still holding on to, but this is what he's comfortable with sharing as of now.
So is she trying to like actively attack you, or like why is what's her obsession mean?
She wants to be a part of my story, she said. She said she wants to be she wants to be the villain of the hero story that people are gonna talk about for years and years. She's crazy. I don't know. She she seems really strong. I was almost powerless in front of her. She tried to. He trails off. Doesn't complete a sentence.
Percy nods. Well, thank you for telling us this much. I know how much it is to confide. For now, we'll try to get a move on. Shall we head out to the outskirts of town? Truth be told, I don't want to be any anymore. It's unnerving. So much emptiness, so much lost.
River's gonna step out of the doorway.
Cole
Not
is
saying
gonna.
anything.
Cole is gonna hesitantly start walking, looking around his surroundings, very paranoid.
Okay. Chains and Dove. We will do this scene, and then the group will be back together. Okay, so Chains, Dove's leading you to the outskirts of town, and you see, like, basically the other side of town, the back entrance, and you see almost a field full of graves. There's got to be at least like 30 of them. And you walk up like this hill, and they bring you to 2 graves. One, again, that same kind of potion shop that you saw at the front of your own home, that same kind of carving into the wood gravestones that stick out of the dirt. One says Burden of Chains, and the other says Ink on Parchment.
Okay. So, Chains will walk up to. It's so weird to say. Walk up to his grave.
Yeah.
And kneel down to place his hand on the ground of the grave. And then just silently pause for a moment. Yes.
Your sibling's just watching you, like looking down at you as you kneel.
And oh, it's such a okay. God, sorry, I gotta shake it off. It's such a surreal moment.
Yeah.
And then Chains stands back up and looks over to Ink's grave, and then looks at his arm, and then looks back to Dove. You know, she visited me.
They smile. I can tell by the cloak.
He hugs the cloak closer to him. And then he feigns a deep breath and then outstretches her hand.
This is very weird.
There's this guy. And then you know, she asked me to free her.
And did you?
He pulls back the arm. Fist clutched. Yeah,
They
I'll
smile.
free.
That's good.
And then Chains asks, am I really Chains?
They look at you, and they seem sad at, like, your words. They take a deep breath, and they say, you are. You're just missing pieces.
And Chains looks over to the grave. And then who's that?
That's also you. But they look at you again. In a different way. That is just a vessel. What's in the dirt is just your vessel. What is truly you is in here. And they point at their head. In reality, you're just a big muscle piloting a big meat suit.
Chains chuckles.
They grin when you laugh at what they said. But really, your soul, every part of you, is in this body that you're in right now. It looks the same, aside from... They point to, like, the scar. That, looks the same. You know, you sound the same. You are the same. You're just missing pieces of yourself that you need to get back before you can really live your life again.
Chains pauses for a moment. Eyes closed. Lost in thought. And then looks back at Dove. And nods. Then he gestures his hand over to pick up, get his red needle. And then he outstretches his hand to Dove, and I got this in a dream.
They take it from your hand. And they laugh a little. The family heirloom.
Chain's head's tilt.
Mother used this needle to sew all of our clothes when we were children. And then he, like, they kind of, like, use it like a little tiny sword, and they, like, when Father would tell us bedtime stories, he would use this as a tiny sword.
Chains looks away, hiding his smile. I see.
It's how you casted your magic. They offer it back to you.
And Chains takes it back. And he just looks at it a little bit more closely than usual. Trying to imagine. And then he just nods and, puts it away. I see.
They smile a little bit. I'm surprised that you can't cast magic anymore. It used to be all you would do when we were children.
Chains looks up into the sky. We'll find summer. We'll find my memories.
And get rid of that thing that's trying to steal you.
I still don't know. And then Chain shakes his head before saying anything else, and looks to Dove with a big smile. Shall we?
In a moment. They kind of like rummage like in their shirt, and they pull out like a little like glass bottle that's full of dirt. They have two around their neck. They open one of the glass bottles and empties the dirt on your grave. And then they seal the bottle again and smile at you, and they say, I won't be needing that memory anymore. I have you with me now.
Aww.
Chain smiles softly.
They give you a hug, and they just say, I missed you, big brother.
Aww.
Sorry for hitting you.
Chains, not hesitantly, but just paused and then just grasped and embraced Dove as hard as he can.
And a little bit later, you guys all meet again on the outskirts of the abandoned town of Fuyu. Attempting to reconnect. Yay! We're back! Sorry, everyone. We're back. Sorry. We're back. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there.
Australian Wi-Fi.
Australian internet. We are going to take a little break. Because I need another drink. That was also a lot to handle.
That was a lot of information.
Yes. That's a lot. I think everyone watching the stream and also all the players need time to process that. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Ah.
burgers while we were playing D&D.
Your mama made burgers! Hello everyone, welcome back.
Hi.
We're back.
The Spellbound Saga, we're back. Thank you. The art was done by my friend Anarchist Hunter. He's a very, very talented artist, and
It's so good.
it's so
He's
good.
the fucking man.
I'm the man, I'm the
Amazing.
man, I'm the man. Anywho. Alrighty. So you guys are on the outskirts of Fuyu, and I assume you're heading back to the Yosei Vineyard now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Traveling fast.
Traveling fast? You guys are crazy.
Paint laces past.
Sorry, my
We
keyboard
changed, We
squeaked.
don't have to worry.
Yeah. I've got to remake these tables because no matter what I roll, nothing happens. Let's see if something happens this time. Nothing happens because I rolled a 38 again.
Please roll with advantage just so something would fucking happen.
Okay. Ooh, that's a new number that I haven't rolled before. Let's have a look at my table.
Watch, it does nothing.
If it's boring again, I'm gonna be really annoying.
It's another druid.
It's another fucking druid that you explode. Where is it? I can't find the number.
Yo, this burger be slapping.
Oh, that's an interesting... Okay, that's actually an interesting encounter. Let's go. Okay, you guys wander the paths and you see a, like, scraggly looking man sitting on the side of the road.
River, don't.
Don't explode him!
No, I wouldn't.
What's the man
Someone
doing?
looks like a person.
What's the scraggly guy doing?
He's just sitting there. Just chilling.
Chains does a slight bow.
So he like waves like hello there.
Oh, when he sees you, he like, when you greet him, he like snaps towards you, and he stands up and he like speed walks and he's like, hello!
Hi.
He takes out a book. Hi, my name's David.
Well,
Hello, David?
Hi.
call size like Percy.
Are you adventurous?
Great.
Yeah, I think yes, first so.
Oh, would you mind telling me some of your grand adventures?
Are you a bard?
I am a bard.
Sing me a song.
Okay. Let me roll performance for David. He takes out the
David.
flute. Is the audio supposed to be muted? No, this always happens! God
Actually,
damn
I
it.
should probably change the music to something
No,
less.
no. Okay, I'm gonna have to restart stream. Because,
Okay.
Oh,
wait.
I see.
Can they not hear anything?
yeah, sometimes when my stream disconnects, it like, you know. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Oh! Okay, sorry, that scared me.
Ooh.
Alright. Can
Yeah,
we hear now?
again.
No,
Ow!
get out of here.
Yeah.
We good now. Yeah, I had to restart stream. That happens sometimes when it disconnects. I don't know why it does that, but it does.
Got best
Anyway,
seats.
the party has encountered a bard called David. I'm going to roll
Thank you,
performance.
Percy.
I'm going to roll performance for David. He rolled a 4.
No.
He rolled an 8 in total. He takes out his flute and he goes, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." This is a shit song. You hate this song, Cole. This song sucks.
Cole gets angry. He's like, thanks for this, Percy. Why can't we just travel in silence and peace? Why do you have to be so cordial with everybody?
Percy looks about to cry. He looks really sad. He's like,
Chains dances to the tune.
I'm
Roll performance,
really
Chains.
nice. I'm sorry.
And then
Chains is very badly dancing along to the funny little flute music.
Yeah.
Dub looks fucking furious. Dub looks really angry.
But you said you wanted stories, yes?
Yes! Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. He's playing his flute again.
Well, Percy's eyes light up and he shakes off his sadness after Colm screaming at him for being a little nice guy. And he's like, well, Have you heard much of the tribe of the Iron Spines before?
No! He's still playing the flute music because Chains is dancing.
Percy's eyes widen
Yeah,
at this opportunity for publicity for what his fucking people are.
Yeah.
He's not a good bard. It wouldn't be good publicity.
I mean, if you guys want to stop him, Percy's naive. Like, he just wants to spread like.
Colin's
I'm
gonna
just
step
dancing.
in. Colin's gonna step in. He's like, "How about I tell you a story about being socked in the face right now?" And he's like picking out his like mallet.
David the bard is like shocked. He writes it down. That's a good
He's like,
story.
"Squir-
Thank you, friend. He flutes away.
Okay, Percy looks really between this and the dove, or not the dove, the exploding bird, the exploding crow. Percy looks really fucking like he's just like walking behind the group now.
Dove turns around and looks at you, Percy, and they shake their head. They say,
He was a shit bard anyway. It would have been bad publicity for your tribe.
He nods.
Could River like whisper to David to like visit our keep?
No.
"He's gone. He's fluted away. Don't let me.
Next day.
Don't let me bring back stupid fucking NPCs. This always fucking happens. I run a campaign. I introduce an NPC called Glorbo, and everyone's like, "I love Glorbo. Bring Glorbo back." Shut up. Shut up. Seriously. Fuck Glorbo. Glorbo the fucking kobold. Get out of here.
That guy would have died first. We all know this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
After Dove says that, Percy just like nods and he's like, "Yeah, you're right. Actually, have you heard much of my tribe before? Would you like to hear?"
They turn and they like smile at you, like a soft smile, like Chains does. They smile and they actually say,
The Iron Spines. They're in Glace. A tribe of Hexarch. They worship the moon god SOCIALSs.
He nods vigorously. You know about us?
Of course I do. I've studied you.
What have you studied?
Well, I picked up a couple rare books back in...
they trail off.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I picked
Percy-
up a couple rare books, and they were all about your tribes, written by one of the old tribe members. I decided to pick them up and read them, and they were quite an interesting read. I learned all about your goddess and how her domain is like this beautiful place, like right on the cliff with blue grass, and the moon always shines at full. It was very, very pretty and very nice to read.
Percy's eyes are fucking wider than the moon right now. This is, yeah. I go there every night.
Yes, you're the emissary of the moon, aren't you?
Percy's like even more shocked. Like, how do you know that about me?
I know that the Hexarch don't really travel outside of their own tribes, and that those who do are called the emissary of the moon, and they are blessed by the moon goddess SOCIALSs, and they watch over the emissary of the moon. That's what I learned, so I just kind of made a wild assumption.
Yeah, right. Auntie does look after me well.
They smile.
Who's the book written by?
I can't remember. It was lost when they ravaged our town. They stole all my books.
Percy kind of like nods sadly. He's like, "Oh, I would have loved to know who'd written it. Maybe I can find it in a library somewhere."
When we get revenge on those who destroyed our hometown and killed my brother, we will be sure to get my books back. They smile.
Percy grins at Dove. Thank you, and it's really lovely to hear that you care and study my people.
I wanted to be an anthropologist when I got older, but the death of my brother and my friends kind of inhibited that, and I took up fighting more seriously instead.
Well, if you want to ever hear more about the tribes, I'm happy to tell you more about what happens from a direct perspective.
I would like to write my own book about them. Perhaps I should visit someday as well.
Percy's grin grows even wider. Yeah, yes, please, I would love to take you. One of my main goals for being out here is I want our people to be more known. Not many people know what we even are. So many people looking at me strangely, confused about. He points at like the chitin on his cheek and his gauntlet-like hand. He's like, I don't want us to fade away. So it's nice to hear that, people still know of us.
Of course. Some people like myself take great interest in things that we don't understand, just so we can better understand them. Even though it was a slight chance I'd ever meet someone like you, it paid off in the end, did it not?
He nods. Does the Hexac have its own language?
I believe
I
so,
assume
yeah, they do.
Yeah, yeah. Percy looks to...
I just don't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's not written down in Percy's languages, but he would know that, so I'm just gonna write it down very quick. But, he's like, do you know much of our language?
I know a couple phrases and words, but I wouldn't call myself fluent.
He smiles. Well, come to me if you ever want some lessons. I'm always happy to teach.
That would be lovely. They smile again, and they continue on, like, walking along the path.
Percy's mood has fucking boosted. He's like he was like slumped behind before, like walking behind everybody. He's like started striding confidently ahead of everybody now, like leading the charge. He's fucking going.
Chains, you know this very well about Dove, is that they've researched a lot of different races and cultures to try and, you know, spread the word. And you know that some countries in Kalena aren't too accepting of other, you know, cultures and races. So they were primarily studying that. They wanted to be an anthropologist when they were older, so they could spread the word of these cultures and try and make them more accepted all around Kalena.
Sounds like Dove.
Yeah. But obviously there is a halt in that plan, as now they are, you know, what they are. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. That is day one. David the Bard. Fuck that guy.
David the Bard.
David the Bard.
He was a good
Good
little
tunes.
segue.
Good tunes.
Ah, I rolled a
Excuse me,
69.
interesting encounter.
I rolled a 69.
Nice.
You guys remember this from the last time I rolled a 69. It's not a sexy or sensual encounter. Nothing happens again.
You need to like add more like encounters to this table.
I do. I'm paid
Specifically for
off.
69.
Especially for 69, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the 69 needs to like be a trap or something.
A sexy,
It used to be like-
sexy and/or sensual encounter.
When you do 69, everyone just says nice at the same time.
Yeah.
A curse that makes you all say
Compelled-
nice.
We're compelled to say the word nice as our
right.
characters.
Day 3 of travel. What do I roll? Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
This is. I've
yes.
got an actual encounter this time. Let's go!
no.
You guys see
Woo!
a halfling walk over to you. He's wearing a very, very tall hat and he has a very long mustache. He waves and he walks over to you. He says,
Dimmadome?
he's like, hello adventurers! No, he has like a fucking, like a wizard's hat.
Ah.
It's almost the size of
Percy
him.
doesn't-
He's a halfling.
First, he doesn't greet him at first because he's scared of Cole screaming at him again.
Hello adventurers!
Shame.
What's up?
Chains bows. Slight bow.
The
I was like,
halfling bows
"Oh."
back at you.
Colin's just like, ugh, another one. Why can't we just keep walking?
My name is Himenus.
Yes.
I knew you'd like his name. I am an apothecary. I need to collect some berries from a nearby cave, but some goblins have taken up. If you will escort me there and protect me while I collect them, I will pay you with healing potions.
Oh, what do you think?
How far away is the cave?
He points to like some nearby like stretch of woods. It's not too
Can
far.
I do?
Just there.
Can Kel do an insight check on this dude?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, Cole, this motherfucker is going to rob you blind once you step into those woods.
Yeah. Okay. Cole will wordlessly take out his mallet and just swung it at him.
Roll to hit.
Okay.
Without explanation? Okay.
Yeah, without explanation.
That hits.
Oh.
Roll damage.
Poor,
God.
poor Percy.
Mercy.
Wait. Can we? Wait. How did I roll damage again?
Click on
Just
Warhammer
click
in
You
chat.
Warhammer.
click Warhammer two-handed, the word in
Yeah,
the text box itself.
In the
In the
thing, like
Yeah, in chat.
Not on your character sheet.
In chat.
In
yeah.
chat.
In the chat itself.
In the
I
chat.
see, I see, I see, I see.
Yep. Oh my fucking god!
You knock him the fuck out. You bonk him on the head, he's out cold. Out like a light.
Okay, so Cole puts the mallet back down. Anyways, let's keep going.
And then he's-
Anyway. That was
Percy
crazy.
Percy looks like he got fucking flashbanged. he's like stopped moving. He's just like looking at this man's fucking. So did you knock him out or did you kill him?
He's knocked out. I assume that Cole didn't want to kill this random guy unless you actually wanted to kill this random guy.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to bonk him.
Can Chains like take anything from his body?
Roll
And
investigation.
also look for any weapons.
Roll investigation. Dove looks fucking furious. Again.
Percy looks at Dove and it's like he looks like he wants help.
You find a sling and a dagger and 2 gold pieces.
Okay.
Can River have the dagger?
You guys gotta divvy it up between yourselves, but that's what you find.
Can River have the dagger?
Yeah, you got a dagger.
Yeah.
It's just a regular dagger. It's not magical or anything.
It's fine.
Yeah, Percy's like looking at Dove, like looking for any sort of help as like the only other person who seems fucking sane to him.
Oh, Chains will flip the other gold piece to Cole.
Oh, thank you.
God.
Cole, can I just make up like lore on the spot, like for this dude?
If you want.
He was a wanted criminal or something. I don't know.
Percy's genuinely too stunned to try to insight check him. He's just like, after this and the fucking bird and getting yelled at by Cole for being nice to people, he's just like had enough. He's just like gone catatonic.
Whew. Alright. Next day. What did I roll? Sorry, I'm like snuggled up in a blanket right now. I rolled the Hymnus encounter again. I'm gonna use him again. I literally rolled the exact same number again. Oh fuck!
This time it's Hermanus.
It's Hermanus.
This time it's Hermanus.
Oh, I rolled an 8. Oh, that's fun. Okay, you guys go along the road, on the road again. You know, and you're kind of like just like chatting a little bit and You come across a roadside merchant, and you see like a couple adventurers like leave before you and like head in like an opposite direction. And the merchant kind of like smiles at them, and then like as they leave, the merchant looks to you, and she like smiles at you and like waves you over.
River walks over.
Yeah, Chains also walks over.
Groans and walks over.
Percy looks scared. He's like afraid. He's afraid for this woman's health.
Chains does a bow.
We've had a bird explode, a man threatened to be bonked in the head, and a guy actually knocked unconscious now. Percy doesn't like this lady's odds.
She smiles at you, and she's like, "Could I interest you in any trinkets?"
What do you got?
I have plenty. Is there anything in particular that you want, or do you just want me to have a look at what I've got in my stock?
Yeah, just show us what you got.
Okay. Sorry, I'm rolling in my chair because I have to get ready to look at my list. Okay. Ooh, 72. 72. Alrighty. She opens up a little box and pulls out a copper coin. It's like a hexagon. And she shows you on one side there's a smiling face and the words "remember to live," and the other is a skull and the words "remember that you will die."
Oh, I like that. I want that.
They're just trinkets. Like, they're not gonna really do anything. They're just little doodads.
I know. I like it. I want it.
You want it?
Is
Yeah.
It's yours, my friend.
As long as you have enough rupees.
can Cole pick out a really cute one for bowstring?
Okay, let me see what I've got in my funny list. Have a look. Okay. Let me see what I have here. Oh, this is cute. Okay. So you see like a rectangle, like of cloudy white crystal that's been like edged with silver, and you look through it and it shows the position of the sun. And today's pretty cloudy, so no matter what, you can see the position of the sun through it.
That's very similar to my
Emerald spyglass.
stars.
Yeah, with the stars, but this one shows the sun.
I see. Okay, I'm gonna get that for.
Okay, Chains, did you want the coin?
I want the coin.
Okay, Percy and River, do you want any trinkets?
Let me.
Actually, Percy's gonna look for something for Eternity and also something for Orari.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Okay. Let me have a look. Percy, for Eternity you find a brooch made from a large opal and the bones of giant insects.
Yeah, Percy instantly buys that for her.
Okay. And for Orari... Oh, that's a low number. Oh, okay, that's cute. For Orari you find a large, like, plant bulb. And you ask the trinket seller about it, and then she just says, we don't know what it will grow into if it's planted. Thank you for the self-care package.
Percy's gonna, like, hold out the bulb to the River and, like, River, do you know anything about this this bulb? Percy, once again, not getting it through his head that River is a druid of the stars and not of flora or fauna.
Did River roll like nature, I guess?
Sure, I mean... Go for it. You have no fucking idea what this thing is.
River just shrugs.
Percy nods and, like, he looks, he's like, I'll get that too.
Okay.
And then he realizes something. He's gonna look for something for Finn too, because he doesn't want Finn to get mad at him for not buying something for him.
I mean,
as well.
Finn won't get mad. He'll just be like, bro, what the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Percy's gonna look for something for Finn.
Okay.
River, once you're done with that, River wants to ask the shopkeep if they buy stuff from travelers.
I'll tell you what Percy gets first. Percy, for Finn, you get a small statue of a bear with like a whistle with like a mouthpiece on it, all made from like terracotta, and when you blow through the end, the statue like makes a bear sound, like the sound of a bear, like a roar of a bear.
Percy like looks really like interested in it, and yeah, he'll buy those 3 items.
Okay, River, you asked if she sells if she buys anything from adventurers?
Yeah.
She nods. She says, "Any strange trinkets you come across, I will purchase. Yes, purchase or trade."
River is going to take the blunderbuss that he has had as an inventory this entire time and show it to the merchant.
She looks it over and she like turns it up and down, and she says, "Look, it's not a trinket, but I could make do with this. I could She nods along. All right.
What would you like to sell it for? You can make a deal.
Trinkets. Offer me something you think would be of equal value to it.
Alright. I'll have a look. She kind of like kneels down and like looks through like her stall. This is not through her trinket box, by the way. She's pulling out the big guns. The big guns. Let me have a look. I have to actually pull some stuff up here. Give me a moment.
Eating a cookie.
Yum, 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 yum. In case you guys don't know, guns are very expensive. Like, very expensive. So, yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Let me have a look.
So what I'm hearing is that we should be hunting down people with guns and then selling it.
Oh
Got
my
it.
God.
And you're also not in Ghost Pass, so they are going to be a little...
No, fair.
A
Okay.
little more
I don't think any of us is
worth
that
it to
schemy.
sell.
Mm-mm.
I don't think any of us is that schemy
They're
though.
going to be rarer to find, so they'll
Yes.
be worth more.
Give me a moment. I have to look.
Take your time.
I have to look at what she would pull out, because I'm thinking.
Mm-mm.
I have to think! I have to think!
You got this.
Common. Uncommon. Okay. I'm thinking, I'm just thinking. I have to think hard about this. Okay.
I'm just happy Dove's here.
Okay. She takes out a jug. A blue jug.
Oh?
Can I interest you in this?
What does it do?
She shakes the jug, and you hear like sounds of sloshing, and then she angles it towards you, and the jug is empty. It's an alchemy jug.
Oh, I love these things.
What does an alchemy jug do?
Well, you can name a liquid, and, well, if it's able to, it will create the liquid.
Yeah, we should be taking that.
You've got
It's a
yourself a deal.
Excellent.
It's a
She
really
takes the gun and, like, scoots the jug over to you.
Also, by the way, how much was the thing that I paid for? You
They're
didn't give
about,
me
like,
a
5
price.
silver for all of your items. 5 silver. They're trinkets. Like, they don't do anything. They're just little doodads.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So River is gonna test out the alchemy jug quick.
Name a liquid.
A liquid.
If you're not gonna say something, Percy will in about 2 seconds.
River's gonna say salt water.
It produces salt water. 12 gallons of it.
You did it.
We did it!
Ah.
Yeah! Let's
Hey,
go!
We'll have salt water for whenever those black things come around again.
So, I want you to write this down, because you have to discover this or get identify or roll an arcana to find out what kind of liquids it can create. If you want to roll arcana and try and find out, then I can just tell you.
River's going to roll arcana.
Okay. Roll arcana.
Chance doesn't need this.
River is going to cast guidance on himself first.
Whoa! Okay.
Percy's gonna cast
Okay. Okay, River, roll arcana. You really want to know what liquids this can produce, don't you? That is a natural 20.
Oh.
Okay,
Percy
I
wants to
am...
know a very specific liquid.
So, this is a blue alchemy jug. It is a wondrous item and it's uncommon. So, the jug appears to be able to hold a gallon of liquid, and it weighs 12 pounds whether full or empty. No matter what, sloshing sounds can be heard from within when it's shaken, even if it's empty. You can use an action and name one liquid from the table below to cause the jug to produce the chosen liquid. Afterward, you can uncork the jug as an action and pour the liquid out, up to 2 gallons per minute. The maximum amount of liquid the jug can produce depends on the liquid you named. Once the jug starts producing a liquid, it can't produce a different one or more of one that has reached its maximum until the next dawn. So, you can produce 4 gallons of beer, 1 quart of boiling hot tea, a gallon of honey, 2 gallons of mayonnaise, a quart of oil, 2 gallons of vinegar, 8 gallons of fresh water, 12 gallons of salt water, and 1 gallon of wine.
Pretty good.
So 4 gallons of beer, 1 gallon of tea.
I will send you the screenshot because you rolled a nat 20.
Yes!
I'm going
Is,
to...
is,
I'm going
That
to...
feels like a very
saying this out
river
loud,
item.
I'm going to put it in your
Is River like
logs.
saying this out loud, or?
Here you go.
No.
That's just what River knows. River can choose to
River
share
does
it
not
with the
say
class.
any of this.
That
Yay,
seems like
alcohol! You can really help
All I
Price
really
out
know
with
is
this one.
that River has an alchemy jug now.
Blue
Percy
alchemy
looks to-
jug.
A blue
Percy looks
alchemy
towards
jug.
River,
Yeah.
and it's just like, can you make juice come out of it?
Nope.
What about
Percy's
milk?
crushed.
What about milk?
Do you have any milk?
Nope.
That's a very appropriate river item, I feel like.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a good river. I feel like that'd be a good item for River or Chains. Like, you guys are both would be inventive with it.
Hey Chains, looks like you're not the only one with juice now.
You just said you can't make juice.
Yeah, are you lying to us? Can you really make milk?
Are you lying to me?
You
Percy
never
looks like he's
know.
a... Percy looks really like. First the bird, now this, and he walks away.
I feel like Percy's just being traumatized in all these like these little cutscenes that we're having.
Boy, oh boy.
Percy's no good, very bad trip.
Since when is mayo a liquid?
what would you call it?
Take the item.
What would you call mayonnaise?
Sludge.
Mm.
Egg.
Condiments. Like ketchup isn't like liquid.
What would you want to call it? A condiment jug? It's an
That'd be
alchemy
awful.
jug.
Yeah.
It's not a
That'd
liquid
be
jug.
awful, just like
That's
just
true.
like-
It is an alchemy jug. It's
just
not a
like
liquid.
pouring out fucking soy sauce or something.
Why couldn't it give
Funny-
us potion? Imagine summoning potions. Oh,
Fun
That'd
fact.
be
Fun
busted.
fact. Actually, I'm gonna tell you guys a fun fact. The orange jug of alchemy can summon soy sauce.
No!
Whoa.
Yes.
We all need one. Got
So
it.
I'm gonna.
To, like,
Here's what
collect these alchemy
Okay, so
jugs.
the orange alchemy jug can do beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, soy sauce, and vinegar. The only difference between it is that the
Is it
blue
like
alchemy jug does
water?
boiling hot tea, and the orange one does soy sauce. So you guys kind of
That's
lucked
the
out
only
here.
difference.
That's the only difference.
That's funny.
So awful.
Okay, I
That's
think
good.
we're good with this, right?
Yeah.
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 Let's move on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. What was your name, by the way?
She looks at you and she's like, I can't tell you my name. That
Well,
would ruin the
if-
secret.
If you want any more business, the keep we own has a merchant there if you would like to trade wares.
I'll be sure to have a look.
Thank you very much, nameless lady.
Yes. Okay, we're grateful. He starts pulling Percy. Let's just walk.
Percy gives up instantly, like he's just being dragged.
Change is just flipping his coin.
Also, reminder: Percy is like 6'4". How tall is Cole?
Very small.
4 foot.
Yeah, you're just carrying this giant guy.
I mean, he'd be strong enough.
Yeah, he is strong as hell. And Percy's very buff in his own right.
Yes. Alrighty. That was a fun encounter, everyone. I'll say you guys are at the vineyard now. We've lollygagged enough. Again,
Enough lollygagging.
you guys return to the vineyard, seeing those porcelain statues kind of tilling the fields and, you know, picking grapes and such and various fruits. And you
Cole
see
is gonna. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You see Madeline actually out the front. She seems to be mixing something in like a big pot out the front. And you see like someone else beside her, but you can't really see because they're standing kind of behind her, if that makes sense. But they seem to be talking to each other.
Can I read their lips?
You can't read Madeline's lips because she's facing away from you, and you can't see the other person.
Oh, fair.
So no.
Got it. Yeah. Got
River's gonna yell out, "Hey, Madeline!" and start like waving his arm.
She holds up like one finger as if she's saying, "Just wait a minute." Like that's like she's like, "Just wait, just stop." So you can approach her if you'd like.
River's gonna approach.
I was gonna approach.
You guys walk up towards her, and you hear like the tail end of the conversation that she's having with this other person. So like you walk up to her, and she's like, "Hold on, everything's fucking up." Sorry, sorry, I'm like struggling here. I'm struggling all the time, always. Anyway, you walk up and you see her speaking with a shifter with like long brown hair tied back into a braid, and she has like flowers weaved into the braid, and she's wearing like quite loose fitting clothing, and she has like sickles like that are chained together at the ends like around her belt. And Madeline looks to you guys and she tilts her head and she's like, "You're back already?"
Well,
Chance nuts.
we found what we were looking for.
That? And she points to Dove.
Patient 0.
It's them, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Them?
Yep. Patient 0 of the disease.
They like wave awkwardly. The shifter woman like kind of like peeks over like Madeline, and she says, "I'll see you later, Madeline." And Madeline nods.
Bye.
Is there anything that I'm gonna examine the shifter if there's anything I can pick up from their appearance.
Roll perception. You can tell right now, not only do they have sickles and like flowers in their hair, they also are carrying a lute. They have a lute strapped to their back. From just your general assumption, you've met a lot of adventurers in your time, you assume that she's some sort of druid and or bard.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, she walks away. And Madeline like scoots around like the pot that she's like mixing so she could face you guys but also continue to mix. So, what'd you find out?
Well, that's what we said. Dove here, they were the origin of the disease.
They look fine to me.
Well, yeah, they're immune by now.
Percy's gonna look towards Dove and think, maybe you should show and explain.
Dove,
Like, he kind of like gestures to his arm.
Dove, sorry, they're like, ugh, you know.
Percy looks apologetic, like asking her to do this.
They again, like, you know, roll up their sleeve, and it's different this time. It's not like scales anymore. They roll up their sleeve, and you see like arcane, like tattoos almost, like stretching like from their hand up their arm that kind of like fade into their skin. Oh, they kind of like look surprised at this. It's changed again. They look up at Madeline. This is what it normally looks like. Every now and again it changes into something else. Madeline looks intrigued by this. She nods. And this is a symptom of the disease? Dove nods. And they say, yeah, it's weird. Oh, Daniel, thank you for the raid.
Daniel?
Hello, thank you.
Has games.
Does Dan have
Oh,
games?
Spider-Man. Thank you so much for sharing your viewers with us. We are playing D&D. Yay!
Spooter.
Spooter. So they kind of like explain their symptoms to Madeline, and Madeline follows along. It's pretty much the exact same thing that she said to you guys the symptoms are, but except with Dove, they passed after maybe 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And then they had these arcane tattoos on their hand, and every now and again it changes into something else. Like scales, or like black sludge, like a bunch of different stuff. Some sort of like divine energy radiating around them. It's different, like often. Madeline follows and she nods. Thank you for the self-care package. I'll need to get another drink in a hot minute. But we'll finish this scene first. Madeline nods and they say, like, she says, that's happening because, yeah, it is missing because I changed it. It's all good. I'll fix it later. She says, that seems to be happening, that transformation, because you don't know how to control this new magic that you've been given. She looks around. I have a book I can give you that you can read. I assume you don't want to stay here with me, Dove. Dove shakes her head. And they say, I'd rather not, Madeline. To be honest, you're kind of creepy. And she nods and she's like, that's fair. I'll give you that book. Just from looking at you, I don't think you'll be able to spread the disease. Like, I've been around a lot of people who have had it. I don't think you'll be able to give it to other people. But that's interesting. That theory that it's meant to weed out the weak and reveal the strong. Interesting. Do you, Dove, have any idea why you were the first to get it, or? Dove frowns. And they say, I've been doing some thinking. Madeline, when Solstice of Summer came to visit you, what did he say to you? Madeline looks like dread. Like, instantly she looks upset. Like, scared, almost. And you know that she is a very well-trained adventurer. All of you know this. She has done a lot. She's killed dragons. She is extremely powerful. The fact that she's looking scared is scary in and of itself. Dove looks unfazed by this. She says, he threatened my life, as expected from the letter. She looks up at Chains. He's been looking for Chains for a long time. Ever since Chains passed. He's been visiting me about every month. And she kind of like lifts up her shirt a little bit and reveals like a long scar, like stretching, like a healing wound across her stomach. He did this to me last time he visited. I have nothing to offer him, so I don't know why he keeps coming to me. He's stuck on that illusion that I have something I can tell him. There is one thing I have been hiding from him, but I will not give that information up no matter what. Not to him.
Okay, so Chains is clenching his fists, just hearing about this, but let's see. Okay. What is it that you're hiding?
She looks at you, Chains, and she sighs, and she smiles at you as if, like, the kind of smile where she's like, if I tell you this, it might change everything. And she just
Chains
says,
looks over at Dove.
She says, are you ready to hear it?
Chains looks over to Dove, and then looks back. Chains grips his right hand, and then he nods firmly.
Madeline takes a deep breath. Chains, you probably already came to the conclusion that I am not the person who brought you back to life. I know a lot more
Chains
than I was letting on when you first came here. I know that you have another entity attached to you. And I know who made that deal It was your mother. She sold your soul to a celestial to try and get you back. But she looks away. That celestial... She sighs again. Is my father. I've hinted at it before, but I am an Asimar. I am a celestial as well. He's disguising himself as a celestial to fool you. He's actually a fallen angel. He wants to take your body chains and he wants to use it to do his own evil deeds.
How do I stop him?
I don't know. But your body is another mystery. And I know who made your body.
Who?
She walks towards you and she puts her hands on your shoulders. And she takes a deep breath. She is an evil woman.
Who?
Chains, she is twisted. If you were to ever meet her again, she may rip your soul from your body and change you.
Change me how?
She, squeezes your shoulders. Calling her evil wasn't the right choice of words. She's morally questioned, and she uses people for her work. She has no name. We just call her the Lamplighter.
Oh my fucking god.
I see.
You are not ready to face her. I don't know if you ever will be. But she looks over at Dove. I think we've both come to the same conclusion. Dove nods. Summer is our next lead. We need to find him.
Why chains? Why is everyone after chains? Class.
Clearly not everyone is after chains, considering there's a white-haired woman following you, Cole.
Cole pauses.
Do you see her too?
I've seen her. When you all were sleeping, I
Wait.
tried to throw rocks at her. I saw her watching from the woods.
You saw her?
I did.
How much do you know?
I don't know who she is. I saw her watching you. I tried to scare her off. I thought she was an animal at first, but when I approached, she was a woman.
Could you sense something about her? Anything?
They frown. That weapon that she carried a dark aura with it.
Cole looks away kinda despair-filled.
Madeline, nods again. And she looks at Dove and just is like, may I take a blood sample? They nod, and they just hold their arm out. She kind of picks them with a pin, and then puts the blood in a little glass jar, and then walks back into her home. Dove looks back at you all and says, we should get a move on. Lingering in one place will get that ghost to follow us.
Chains nods.
Percy notes.
I'm satisfied.
Cole leaves.
So, you guys continue. Where are you going to look for Solstice of Summer first?
We could go back to Uzumaki.
Percy is going to turn to Cole. Cole, you know a little bit about the army, don't you? Do you have any contacts that might know a little bit about this Solstice guy? Would Lynn maybe know?
Lynn might know.
What about
Lynn-
Silver Locket?
I didn't think I wanted to disturb her much at the moment. You know how she can be.
Is there a way for me to, like, or for Cole to contact Lynn?
You would have to send a letter.
If you want, I can send a message to her now and ask if she knows anything.
Yes.
Do you have sending?
I do have sending.
Alrighty.
Okay.
And remember,
what should we
20
do?
words, and how it works in my world is that you have to use all 20 words.
25 words. Okay.
Yeah, 25. You have to use every single one of them.
Single 25 words.
Yes.
She looks at Cole, is like, okay, I only have so many words, so I need to figure out what should we say.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me put on a word counter.
It's much funnier if you just start saying it and count the words on your fingers, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Percy's like trying to figure out what to say first. Like,
Okay.
should I just ask if she knows who Solstice is and where he might be?
Yes. Ask her. Tell her this is Cole. Tell me about General Solstice of Summer of the Weaver Army.
How many words is that? This is Cole. Tell me what you know about General Solstice of Summer of the Weaver Army.
Okay, so you got 10 more?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what Percy is going to do. He's going to sit down. He's going to hold his necklace, and he's going to begin speaking out loud. He's going to say, "Hello, Lynn. This is Percy of the tribe of the Iron Spines."
And that's 10.
That's 12 words at the moment.
Yeah, that's 12.
Oh,
um,
get it.
do you know of General Solstice? Where is he? We are looking for, and then it ends. And then he stops. Percy looks towards Carl. It's like, how's that?
Did you already send it? Like, is that it?
Yeah, he sent it. That was him sending it out loud. That was him doing it.
Okay. Let me think now. Okay. Well, shortly you get a response. This is Lynn. Hi. Yeah, he is ruthless, crazy guy, super crazy. Should be at Uzumaki. Super crazy. Really crazy. Super duper
Really
crazy. You know? That's 25.
Nice.
There you go.
Percy, as he gets those words into his
Had to count on my
brain,
fingers.
he recites them out loud.
Cole looks at the party and goes, he's super crazy.
Super crazy.
Also, I hope you guys know that I'm self-restricting. I'm probably gonna self-restrict every time I fucking do.
Hello, this is Percy of the tribe of the Iron Spines.
I'm like 12 of my words are gonna be taken up by that. I have like 13
I
words.
blank. I am Percy of the Iron Spines.
I love it.
Okay. That's what you guys got as a response from her.
Okay, Percy looks
Dude.
Can
back to
we
Uzumaki, I guess.
can we go to break for a second? I need to get another drinky poo.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back, everyone.
Hello, everyone. We're back.
Uh,
I got the dwink. Alrighty.
The wink.
You guys are heading back to Uzumaki.
Uzumaki.
Madeline gives you a
Uzumaki.
carriage. Madeline gives you a carriage, and she gives you a porcelain horse.
A pause.
A
Oh,
horse, if you will.
horse.
Of course.
Can River turn into a porcelain horse now?
No, because it's not a real animal. Anyway,
And you're not made of porcelain.
exactly. Anywho,
Not yet.
Okay,
you
anyway.
die and Madeline brings you back as Porcelain River.
Yeah.
If this was a fighting game, everyone would now have like porcelain alternative skins.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, she gives you a carriage and a porcelain horse, and she gives the horse directions straight to Uzumaki. And you guys get into the carriage, and the horse kind of just cuts through the woods.
Dope.
Like, almost as if there's like a secret passage. So, you kind of are shrouded in darkness now. And you guys don't stop all night, because this fucking horse does not need to eat. So this horse does
Oh.
not need to rest. You guys can just sleep in the carriage.
Snore, snore.
As Cole, as we go through the forest, Cole is unnerved because he remembers
The event.
the event from past.
Yes, the
Mhm.
event.
Oh, is this the forest that he was lost in?
No, that was back at fucking...
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, that-
Final
It
that
just
was a-
reminds him of the forest, just being inside, lost in the forest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Does anyone want to
Horse
look
is a-
around, or...
Chains will look around.
Okay, Chains. Look around.
I'll look around too, because Cole is
River-
paranoid.
Okay, Cole, look
River will
around.
look around.
Wow, Chains rolled bad for once.
Mm-hmm.
River will take a little look-see.
Uh-oh.
Nope, see nothing.
Oh no.
River, you see nothing.
Cool.
Cool.
We vibe.
Cool, great.
Okay.
The carriage or like outside?
The carriage, you see nothing in the path that you're taking. It seems pretty shrouded in, like, you know, leaves and shrubbery. Very well hidden.
What time is it right now?
I'd say it's probably like sunset.
Okay. She's like just relaxing in the carriage. Looking forward to what comes after
Thank
this.
you for the hydrate, Rosie.
Hello, Rosie. Yeah, he's just like looking very content. Yeah. He looks towards Cole and like
Posture check.
gently puts a hand on Cole just to like reassure him and make sure he's okay.
Hello. He goes, I'm fine. Also, I just wanted to, I did think you guys were helping. He's like trying to mumble to give gratitude to it. He's really embarrassed, so it's really hard for him to.
Aw.
River like
Percy,
River puts his hand up to his ear, like, huh?
Percy grins. He's like, "Thank you. Of course, we're like I said, we're a team, aren't we? We're gonna look after each other. And that also means you shouldn't have to put up this big macho facade. We can take it too, you know. We're all plenty strong. You don't have to act like everything's okay all the time."
Cole hesitantly nodded and then looked at River. You heard what I said. Don't pretend.
No,
And
I
then-
didn't. You were kind of mumbling, you know.
Oh my god.
Well,
Anywho,
too bad.
you had one chance to hear it. So, Dove is just kind of like looking at all of you, and they kind of clear their throat to gather your attention. Are you paying attention to them?
Yes.
Yes, stuff.
Have any
James,
of
You
you
got a cold or
killed?
something?
No. Have any of you killed someone before?
Yep.
Percy nods. Yes. Yeah, of course.
Cole doesn't answer.
Dove is watching you, Chains. You probably don't remember if you have or haven't.
Chains nods.
They take a shaky breath. have you ever had to kill one of your friends before? And they're like staring down at their hands.
I wouldn't exactly call him my friend, but sort of.
Cole looks at Dove. I killed my father.
Percy's eyes widened at this shit.
Dove looks up. They don't seem shocked, but they seem sad.
Hmm.
And then Cole just looks out, like somewhere, like elsewhere in the surroundings, like as if he just didn't say anything. Crazy.
River looks devastated. Because he remembers the talk that him and Cole had before. River leaves the wagon to go sit in the front of the cart.
Dove kind of, like, pauses and looks at Chains. We might have to kill him.
Chains looks back. And then he just looks back down at his right hand. I just want to know the truth. But if we have to.
If you two aren't able to sum up the energy to land the killing blow, I'll take that for you.
Dove closes their eyes, and they chuckle a little bit. And they say no. No.
Chains
I want to
looks
kill
up.
him.
Percy nods.
Chains looks up and just like, I feel like and then he just goes silent.
Paul is thinking he's lost in his own thoughts. He's kind of not part of the conversation anymore.
Dove doesn't speak again. They just continue looking down at their hands the whole time you're traveling.
Percy kind of drifts off, thinking about a specific scenario that draws resemblance he may have to do in the future.
You guys continue to travel, and again, traveling through this darkened pathway, you encounter nothing, as you are hidden from all that's around you. And eventually you breach the forest and you reach Uzumaki again, and as you do so, the horse that was guiding you here seems to like power down, as if all energy that it had, arcane energy that it had, has left the body. And you hear Madeline's voice come through the horse, and she says, it's like a pre-recorded message. She said, "Your ride has now been completed. Please depart the carriage. Thank you."
Paul hops off.
Percy, like, checks to make sure he hasn't left anything on the carriage, and then, like, jumps off.
As all of you get off of the carriage, the horse then recharges itself, turns around, and heads back the way it came. Fun new horse. So yeah, where do you guys begin?
So where
You're at the gates of Uzumaki.
Right now.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm trying to think. So we would have been able to sleep, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see if I have a certain spell I can grab.
Spell. Yes, you've all had a long rest.
Yeah. Drat. Okay, no, I don't have that
Oh, drat.
yet. Okay.
We could
Cole
ask around.
Cole asks Chains and Dove, are you guys familiar? Do you, would that Summer guy, Does he have like a favorite spot or something?
I haven't seen him in 4 years.
Shane shrugs in unison with that answer.
Do you guys recall, like... He tries to, like, think... I don't know if it's the best idea for us to just march into a place and demand for him, like...
Well, we know he's looking for me.
So do we just... Maybe... I mean,
he is crazy. So, he probably has a reputation of some sort. People probably know him.
and well, if we make your presence known, he'll find his way to us.
How about we speak to Yissi?
Do I recognize that name?
No, none of you do.
Oh, yes, of course. Them.
Who's that?
They look at you, Percy, and they say, they are a part of the Mages Council. They are the War Wizard.
Do you think they would know where he is?
I wouldn't be surprised, considering he is a general in the army.
Percy knows. Well, that's a good idea, and at the very least we know somebody already in the council, so I suppose we have a leg up in that regard.
Then let's go. Dove turns and heads into the city of Uzumaki.
Percy follows.
Shane slowly trails behind.
Okay. You guys head to the castle in Uzumaki, as per usual. And I assume you head to Silver Locket's office, because that's, you know where it is, and also you already know her. Who knocks on the door?
River. Oh my God.
River knocks on the door. Kong, kong, kong. So you hear Silver Locket's voice. She goes, "Just a minute," and she comes out. She's like, "What do you want? Why are you here?" Hello. And she looks at Dove. Hello. Dove waves. Can I help you, people?
We found your source.
Why are they here? Shouldn't they be like, quarantining or like,
She's not contagious.
Oh.
Not anymore.
I'll take your word for that, but just in case. She rummages around and puts her a gas mask on. Anywho.
Yeah, but Percy motions at the fact that his gas mask is on his side. We've been traveling with her for about a week now, and we're all fine.
I'm not taking any chances.
We have someone working on it.
Okay.
River also still has his gas mask on.
Perseus is off at this point. Once they left the once they got back into this area, he's put it back off.
Can I help you? What do you want?
Well, we're following a lead, and we need to find our way to a man named Solstice.
Oh.
And
she instant recognition on her face. Oh, that guy.
Chain steps up and just could you tell me about Summer?
Listen, Chain's he's. She shudders. Look, he's genuinely, I think, the worst person you could ever come to in regards to this whole thing. Can you tell me why you need to see him?
Cole repeats the entire thing.
He just explains it all. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so you think he has something to do with this?
Yep.
Okay.
Chains looks away.
Fuck, I don't want to talk to this guy. He's so weird. Okay.
You want to fix a situation, you gotta do some talking.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm yuck. Okay, look. Summer is a great fighter. He's a great wizard. He's a great mage. He's what we would call a rune knight. And he's great at it. He's great. He's great at fighting. He's great at fighting. He's great at intimidating people, including me. He could, squish me. I mean, look at me. She, gestures to herself. She's lanky, cat. Tabaxi.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll take him on. If he starts anything...
Look, he's traumatized from what happened in Fuyu all those years ago. I know that. And we've tried to, you know, help him, you know, ease his mind, but he's fine now. Like, you know, he's not really holding on to the past. He's moved on. I know that much. But the thing is... She sighs. He's learned things from it. The situation. He was not trained by our warriors. He was not trained by our guard. He trained himself. And he uses ruthless techniques that shouldn't be allowed, to say the least. I mean, I'm a necromancer. Obviously, if I'm saying it, it's holding some ground, right?
Oh.
Shut up.
I'm a druid. Do you think I know anything about wizard business?
This isn't wizard business. This is punching and fighting. Whatever. Look.
Shane's just at this point just looking at the ground, looking away.
He's learned a lot from our guard, but he also doesn't hold any punches. And there's issues with that, as in sparring he has... She, like, pauses for a moment. Look, let's just say some of the people that he sparred with no longer are part of the guard. Early retirement, you could say. And
What
then...
happened?
Forced retirement?
Yes. They're not dead, but I heard that some of them wish they were. All in a sparring match. We've tried to get rid of him, but he keeps coming back. And our war mage, the one on the council, refuses to get rid of him, no matter how dangerous he is. Because he's a good fighter.
That's a lousy excuse to keep someone.
I'm well aware.
A sparring match, though?
Yes, sparring. It was only supposed to be training, and people have gotten seriously injured through his use of magic.
She looks disgusted at this. She's like, you should never take it too far in a fight like that.
He went to Ysail for a brief period of time. I believe that's where he picked up some of these techniques from, and why he's so ruthless. But regardless, he holds no punches. He does whatever it takes to get the job done, and sometimes that's not right. Sometimes people get stuck in the middle, and sometimes people get hurt. All because of the quote-unquote greater good. No matter what, if he has any connection to this, he believes what he's doing is right. I know him well enough to tell you that, at least. And I know that there's no way you can convince him out of it. He's too stubborn.
Well, then we'll beat it out of him.
Pull your jets. Come on.
Look, I can try and get you a meeting with him. To be quite frank with you, I am quite scared of him. But if this is for the mission, and if it will save my people, then I will do whatever it takes.
I want to talk to him.
Okay. She steps out of her office and, like, dusts off her robes. Takes a deep breath. There's a meeting room just down the hall. Please wait there for me. I will find him. And she walks away, and you hear her, like, soft paw steps against the wooden floors of the castle.
Cole follows.
Here. She kind of gestures to a room. This is the meeting room. I'll bring him here once I find him. He should be at the barracks, probably training our next group of recruits.
Ugh. Training.
Yeah.
Can Cole can I do a perception check to just look at the meeting room real quick?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, I'm having a sip.
Oh. No, never mind.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just got like a table, a couple of chairs, and some books. Like, it's just a standard room from what you understand.
Okay, I just got scared. I'm like, wait, is this a trap? That's why.
So we're on in here, right?
Yes, you're in the meeting room.
All right. Okay. So I guess Chains would be addressing Dove.
Yeah, and Locket leaves and goes to find Solstice of Summer.
I just want to know what happened. I want to know what happened to him. He wasn't always like this, right?
Dove scoffs. Not to you, maybe. But he was always like this. Not to you and Ink. He admired you both too much to act that way toward you. He thought your sense of justice was something to be admired, and now it's warped him. You never taught him to be this way. He would follow you no matter where you went. He would always believe in you no matter what you said, no matter what you did. When you made a mistake, and owned up to it even, he would think that you had done nothing wrong in the first place, even though you had admitted your own fault. He believed in you because he had no one else to believe in. I couldn't imagine what life would be like without mother and father. But he never had one to begin with. You were like his older brother. It's why he admired you so much. You took care of him when no one else did. You and Ink both.
If we have to, I should be the one. I still...
And listen, he did always listen to you, so maybe you'll be able to convince him. Just because I don't like him doesn't mean I want to kill him.
I don't want to have to kill him.
I know. You never wanted to hurt anyone, Shanes.
Chains looks over to Dove with a smile.
It'll be okay. And you guys continue to wait.
River is drinking beer out of his alchemy jug.
Glug, glug, glug.
Yeah, he's just drinking out of his jug that he has with him now. No one knows what he's drinking, but it's definitely beer.
You guys wait for a
like-
moment. No, sorry, continue.
But she's like shifting between like very awkwardly like polite to like try to look more relaxed. Like he seems to be like flittering between those two.
So
Cole is just thinking about the past a lot. Ever since the ghost, he's just been thinking about the past. Mentally he's in a weird space right now.
So, you guys wait for maybe what feels like hours, but it's only in reality about 10 minutes. Jam, you might want to change the music.
What kind of vibes?
Oh, intensificationized.
Crazy?
No, not crazy.
Creepy?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Creepy?
A little
A
bit.
little bit creepy.
A little bit creepy.
Okay, if you want creepy.
A little bit creepy.
Creepy
Not
but
who's there.
intense.
Not who's there.
Creepy but intense.
Okay.
Stalker vibes.
I'm gonna play this for a little bit, but I'll swap in a moment. This is just like regal feeling.
Okay. So, should I continue, Jam? Is this your song of choice?
For the time being, I'm gonna swap it in a moment, but I'm just filling the air as I get the song I want.
Okay. So, you wait, and you hear footsteps again, and Silver Locket opens the door. And she shuts it after her, and she looks at you all, and she looks tense.
Usually she seems quite relaxed, but she seems tense. He knows you're here. He'll be here shortly. I'll be scrying to make sure no one gets hurt. She nods and opens the door and goes to exit, but waits just in case any of you need to say something to her.
Don't be too worried.
You misunderstand. Anywho, I'll be watching. And she leaves and shuts the door after her. Okay. Do you have the music ready, Jam?
I can't fucking find it.
Oh god.
I think I may have found something I'm looking for. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was not prepared. I was not prepared for this. I've slipped up once.
I got an itchy head.
You could do the Persona song again. That was pretty creepy.
Chains song though.
Sorry.
Fuck me. Yeah, this will do. I'm going for something more intensey, kind
That's
of
alright.
creepy.
So, you guys hear the clanking of metal armor as you wait in this room with bated breath. And as these footsteps get nearer, it's almost like a cold aura washes over you. And the door creaks open, and you see before you a demi-tabaxi. Ginger hair, ginger ears, a long ginger tail with floppy fur on it. And one purple eye. The other is missing. The figure looks at you, Chains, and smiles. But you don't feel at ease. You remember your friend vaguely, and whenever he would smile, it would not be like this. It would be reassuring, it would be kind. He would always take care of the younger ones in your village, always lift them up, give them treats when you had your back turned. He would be kind. This is not the same solstice of summer that you knew. He has changed, and you can tell just by first glance.
Chains' eyes at this point is like half open, just glazed over, looking over as he's realizing this.
He steps closer to you, as if no one else is in the room but you. Dove stands, and you hear their chair kind of like squeak as they stand up from the table. And they yell. They say, "What have you done?" They look in shock. They don't seem angry. They look surprised. And almost revolted.
Chain sits up and just has an arm just holding Dove back, maintaining eye contact with Summer.
They continue to stare, and they look at the rest of you. They look at you, River, Percy, and Cole, as if they're pleading for help.
Cole's stands up and gets close to Chains just in case.
Dove, like, shoves past you, Chains, and looks... They are much shorter than Solstice of Summer. Solstice of Summer is about your height, Chains, so around, like, maybe 6'3", 6'4".
Jesus.
Yeah, very tall. So...
Yeah, Percy's expanding at this point as well.
In regards to Dove is 5'6". They are small. They stand in front of you, Chains, almost as if they're protecting you. And they jab a finger into Solstice of Summer's chest and say, "What have you done to my brother?" And Solstice says nothing. He continues to smile. And that only makes Dove angrier. They continue to step forward, and they say, "What have you done?" Solstice of Summer continues to say nothing. And in a flash of motion, he takes out a sword and Chains, you standing behind this, feel blood splatter all across your chest. But it's not your own. It's Dove's. As Dove has been stabbed in the chest by your childhood friend, Solstice of Summer. And that is where we're going to end today's session of the Spellbound Saga.
Fucking hell, okay.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Russo is silent, I'm scared. Alright, thank you everyone who joined us. We will be seeing you next week, and we're gonna raid.
Yeah, I'm still processing it. This is a whole session. Oh my god.
This session was a lot.
Yeah. We are going to raid. Let's raid Pochi. Let's raid Pochi.
Let's raid Pochi. Let's go.
Ah, sorry everyone.
Deathmatch next week.
There we go. Thank you everyone who joined us. We'll be seeing you next week for the next episode of Spellbound Saga.